Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first race of this 2024 Open Wheel Series, and welcome everyone to the Fon. Welcome to Fontana, California, home of the Auto Club Speedway. That is where we are at today for, like I said, this first race of the 2024 season into the Apex Podcast 500. I am Derek Vance, and what a race we're going to have in store for this evening. As you see, the weather up on screen should not be a problem as we are in the 80-degree range. Great racing, great weather for this racing that we're going to see on track this evening. As you see right there on the screen, there is the track configuration. A little bit about the Auto Club Speedway. Like I said, it is in beautiful Fontana, California. It is a D-shaped oval. Majority of the Auto Club Speedway is used actually for NASCAR. If you can believe that, it opened on June 20th, 1997. So looking forward to the racing that we have in store again for this into the Apex Podcast 500 on the Elite Racing League Network. I am Derek Vance. I'm going to be here for the majority of the season. There will be people popping in and out through every broadcast to join us. As you see, qualifying is just underway there on the left-hand side. That is where the timing and scoring is going to be this year. Look forward to bringing you all the exciting racing of IndyCar here on the Elite Racing League. Is just underway. Let's get to a little bit of video of that, and then we'll come back and hopefully be able to set the stage for what is going to be an exciting first race here. And on the Auto Club Speedway right there in Fontana, California. As we see the first car was just coming off the speedway into the grass there. Next car up on track is getting its warm up laps in, and let's take a look from the offender from the wing view there. Glad to be able to bring you this IndyCar racing here back for another season, as we're looking at Ryan Schold in the number 6 car there for Little Eagle Racing, or number 4 car rather, excuse me, for Little Eagle Racing there. Everybody's familiar with that. The number 15 of Chad Frankenfield of Little Eagle Racing as well. He's going to be a competitor obviously today, as we see he spins out right there, lost a little bit of control. Right there, he's able to save it, and he'll have some repairs to make. And he's probably going to be He's probably going to be starting from the back, as you see right there in that qualifying session. We'll go to the replay if we have that. Looks like we may not, so we'll get to that here shortly. But you see uh, the starting lineup here, as you see up on screen. Getting the pole, Jason Brophy, number 88 of Private Label Team Hype. And then you have a familiar name in the number 56 BK Racing, Adriano Pinero. Starting third, Nicholas Suddick in Team Watson Racing. And then starting fourth, AJ Musselman. I know that's a name everyone's familiar with. Starting fifth, Chad Frankenfield, we just mentioned there. He may have to move to the back to that spin out. We'll see how that works out. In the 6th position, Ryan Schold. 7th, Chad Simpson. 8, Craig Forsyth. 9, Eric Troiano. And rounding out the top 10, Rodrigo Franzoni. Starting 11th, Julian Altien. And starting 12th, Justin Fuller. So there is a rundown of your top 12. We started 13, a familiar name in the number 40 car, Tyler Fody. 14th, Jared Rexing. 15th, Tony Schoen. 16th, Kevin DeBrown. 17th, I know a fan favorite, a popular name here in the number 89 car, Nick DeGroot. And starting 18th in the 83 car, Eric Masadou. 19th, Brian Macklin, and rounding out the top 20 is Brian Edwards. Starting 21st, Michael Hosack. 22nd, Justin Milello. 23rd, Ethan Stanley. And 24th, Hunter Smith. Now, starting at 25th, Mark Murphy. 26th, AJ Hobson. 27th, Mark Rebelis. 28th, Presley Sora. 29th, Joseph Morales, and 30th, Justin Fortner. 31st, Drake Berry. 32nd, Victor Del Porto. 33rd, Jordan Owens, 34th, Alan Stover. 35th, Butch Davis. And 36th, Tate Lighty.
Lytle.
So, Lytle, there we go.
Yeah.
37th, Eric Starpoli. 38th, Kevin Hayes. 39th, Jesse Story. 40th, Bill Colley II. 41st, Rob Gregory. 42nd, Corey Johnson. 43rd, Patrick Stein. 44th, Gavin Hobb.
Well, here's the thing. Hold up. Here's the thing. Only 43 drivers qualified. Everybody else missed the race, unfortunately.
A good point there, Carlos. He's going to be chiming in from time to time as well. So a huge field for this first opening race of the 2024 season. Again, coming from the Auto Club Speedway right inside of beautiful Fontana, California. So as the cars go through their paces, sit back and relax because, like I said, I think it's going to be a very interesting race. A crowded field, Carlos, for the first race of the year. As you see the pace car drop off onto pit road, and we're about to go green for this 2024 season. And the green flag has now dropped, and out leading the pace is the number 88 car in Brophy. And second place is Adriano Pinero. As close knit racing right there as we see coming down the back stretch. Pinero takes the lead. Can he hold it as we try to complete lap number 1 of 250? And Pinero trying to sustain the lead there on lap 1. He cannot do that as the pole sitter takes the lead back from him going into turn number 1. Still coming out of 1, it is Brophy, followed by Pinero, Suddick, Musselman, and Frankfurt round out your top 5. Down the backstretch, they are a little bit single file as Pinero steps out of line, and he's going to take the lead back over, and we'll see if he can hold it for a lap and pick up some extra points. As we come to the start-finish line of lap number 2, it is Adriano Pinero leading lap number 2, but the pole sitter wants that spot back, and he is going to retain it, taking the low line to get around Adriano Pinero for the top spot. Lap 3 of 250 just getting underway here as we sit back for 250 laps as we see Pinero takes the lead back. Let's see if he can hold it now and put his car out in front for a few laps as all the drivers get comfortable in their cars. Like I said, this is the first race of the season, so guys aren't quite comfortable yet as we're just into lap 4. So when everybody starts to settle in, and then when you have to make that first pit stop, that's where things get interesting, because that's where guys are going to make adjustments to build upon later in the race. As Pinero has himself out in front by 0.15 seconds, but the pole sitter Brophy is gaining on him ever so slightly as he pulls right up beside him, and he may overtake him back for the lead. So it's kind of back and forth already in lap number 5. No dominant car as of yet. The cars up front specifically, Pinero and Brophy are kind of exchanging the lead. One has it on one lap, one has it on another lap. So we're going to see if one of those two cars is able to break away from the other or break away from the pack. As we see, we have a new leader up towards the front, Suddick in the number 22 machine. overtakes the lead, and he wants to try to stay out in front for a while as we're on the backstretch of lap number 6, uh, single file. And as and as I say that, Panero steps out of line. He's going to take that low line, and he's going to get past Suddick for the lead. So Panero showing a little bit of muscle early here as we're at lap number 7 of 250. And just as I say that, the 22 machine slides back out in front. Let's see how long he's able to hold that down, as he has a whole line of cars behind him that are trying to find their way to the front, as Panero just passes Suddick there for the lead. Right now on lap number 7, it is Panero, Suddick, Brody, Musselman, and Fody rounding out the top 5. And just as I say that, Chad Frankenfield slips his way rather back into the top 5 at 5, slides his way up to 4 now, as we're kind of getting a little bit spread out there a little bit. Somebody, I think, coming out of turn there may have brushed against the wall. You've seen a little bit of smoke there on the back right fender side. But out in the lead, it is Panero by 0.23 seconds over Suddick. Frankenfield hard charging. He went from 5th to 3rd, and he is closing now. He's in 2nd place. Chad Frankenfield trying to mix his way up to the front. And just as I say that, he does overtake Adriano Panero, and Chad Frankenfield now add him to the list of leaders so far, with just 9 laps into this 250 lap race. Frankenfield still leading the pack. We're shuffling back and forth. You look at the leaderboard there that you're going to see up on the left-hand side of the screen all season, and you see some names that I think you're very familiar with when it comes to elite racing, the elite league racing. Chad Frankenfield, Adriano Panero, Suddick, Brody, Musselman, Tyler Fody, Forsythe. I think a lot of people that you see up there towards the front in one capacity or the other, if it's IndyCar or if it's another form of racing here on the network. You see their names race after races. We got it's double file, single, not double, yeah, double file here. A lot of cars mixing towards the front. Frankenfield was overtaken for the lead by Suddick, but Frankenfield is right on his fender, as you see from these cars are very very fanned out here. You see 3 wide there to the front as Tyler Fody now
Caution.
finds his way to the front, and we have our first caution of the race. Carlos, what do we have?
That's what we're trying to figure out here. Let's take a look.
That first caution on lap 12 rears its ugly head. Let's see if we have a replay or a camera to see what brought out the first caution. As we're going to go to the replay and let's see exactly what happened here. As we're on the backstretch here.
This may not be the cause of caution. I'm just picking a reference point, and we're going to see from there what could have gone on.
Yep. As we see the cars funnel down into the turn here.
Oh, right here. I see somebody.
Oh, right there. Yep. You circled it correctly. Right there. And let's see if we can get a better view of what happened here. Still haven't seen a great replay of this. Trying to find out the exact car.
There we go. I think it's Drake Berry.
Oh, Drake Berry. It looks like did he brush the wall, or did he make contact with the wall that sent him down towards the apron? Oh no, he got a little bit of help. He got a little bit of a bump, that spun him out of control. And luckily, he was the only car involved. So that's if there is a silver lining in this, that he was the only car involved. Hopefully, there's not a lot of damage on Drake's car as we look at it from all of the camera angles that we have. There it is, right there.
Oh, that's Jeff Soren.
Jeff Soren, the nose of Jeff Soren's car got into the back of Drake Berry's car. Drake Berry's car obviously did not did not appreciate that and sent him into a little bit of a spin. But like I said, luckily, Barry did not collect anyone, and we are on our first caution of the race. That's going to come at lap number 13. We are on lap 13, rather. Caution came on lap 12. Right now, the field as it is, Chad Frankenfield is your leader, followed by Adriano Panero. Schold is third, Musselman fourth, Brody fifth, Simpson sixth, Tyler Rexing seventh, Troiano eighth, Nick DeGroot, who I know he started towards the back of the field, has worked his way up to ninth, and DeBron is 10th. So that is a rundown of your top 10. Um, 13 laps into this 250 lap race, this first race of the season, and just my first observations in these first handful of laps, 13 laps to be exact. There's not really one dominant car so far. It's been a lot of different cars kind of jockeying for position, jockeying for that number one spot, that P1 spot that is currently held by Chad Frankenfield of Little Eagle Racing, and then his teammate just one spot behind him, Ryan Schold in the number 4 car, who's third. AJ Musselman, like I said, the number 53 entry for 510 Esports. He is currently fourth. Fifth, Jason Brody in the number 88 private label Team Hype Racing machine. And then following him, number 6, or in sixth place rather, Chad Simpson in the number 42 entry for Satellite Racing. And then coming in seventh, right now, Jared Rexing, Independent Racing, the number 10 entry. Eighth currently is Eric Troiano from Benat Porto Pro Racing. So in the number 14th entry. And then at number 9, like we said, the famous on here, Nick DeGroot in the number 89 factory-backed motorsports. Then rounding out the top 10 in the Haas entry, number 39, Kevin DeBron of Independent Racing. And look at that pretty little cat that he has in his picture. So that is your top 10 as we run on our during our first caution on lap 14. Not sure, Carlos, how much more of these caution laps we're going to run under this first caution. Do you want to go to a commercial break, or do you want to stand by for that?
Yeah, we can. Well, actually, no, because we are currently 1 to green. I know it shows green flag is out, but according to procedures with how iRacing sets up these cars and research, I should say, they're just not realistic compared to what IndyCar does. So, the actual 1 to green, they actually take green flag and pace at a speed of 90 miles an hour. Until they get to the restart zone, in which then the leader can start accelerating, and we have our actual real life green flag restart. So on the backstretch there right now, and probably when they get across the restart zone, they're gonna start accelerating, and it'll be like you would see in IndyCar racing. You can start passing before the start finish line, but I believe Chad said only on the outside line.
Good stuff there, Carlos. Stuff for people to keep in mind. So we'll stick it. We'll stay right here as we are about to get back underway from the into the Apex 500 from the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. So we'll stick it right here. I do want to make note, though, as you see scrolling on the left and right hand bottom sides of your screen, all of the great sponsors that make it possible for Elite Racing Network to do this week in and week out, as we are back to green. Cars getting back up to speed. Chad Frankenfield is going to be out in front, but Adriano Panero says no more. He's had enough of that as he takes the lead back over from Chad Frankenfield, and he brings another car with him. That's going to bump Frankenfield down to third as he slides his way back up actually to second. So that won't be the last that we hear from Chad Frankenfield in this race. As just mentioned, he goes back to position number 1, makes a full pass down on the bottom of the apron to take position number one. Pinero followed right behind him, less than a second behind. As we say that, Pinero's going to step out of line, going to go down below, almost below that white line to overtake Frankenfield for the first position. As you see right there, that is the distance from the leader Adriano Pinero of BK Racing and Chad Frankenfield. As you see, Frankenfield going to go to the left-hand side and make that pass to retake first. So a lot of shuffling early in this race from the leaders that are up front between Chad Frankenfield, Adriano Pinero, and others. Frankenfield trying to hold the lead down, but he cannot as he is overtaken by Scholl in the number 4 entry. So mark him down as another race leader early in this race as we are going to almost get ready to complete, as we do right there, lap 19 of 250. So like I said, a lot of front runners and the leaders towards the front there jockeying for position, jockeying for that number 1 spot. They want to get their season off on the right foot, and how else could you but by winning the Into the Apex podcast 500 from the Auto Club Speedway. And Pinero again gets back in the lead. Pinero and others just can't quite pull away when they get into that top spot, that P1 spot. They just can't quite pull away, as we see Frankenfield again overtaking Pinero now, maybe for the handful of times so far early in this race, as he is out in the lead. And just as I say that, Pinero overjumps him. So back and forth from Adriano Pinero and Chad Frankenfield. Musselman has found his way up to the number 3 spot. Simpson in the number 42 machine has cracked the top 5. He is currently P5. And Frankenfield, rather, slipping a little bit. He is down to B3. Musselman has muscled his way, no pun intended there, into the number 2 position, trying to chase down the race leader, Adriano Pinero. And Musselman is doing that as he's closing rapidly. He is going to put his name in the leader books, as he is now the race leader at lap number 21. Let's see if he can stay atop for a lap and get a little bit of extra points. Frankenfield finds his way back up to P2. Pinero slips a little bit down to P3. Frankenfield now is your race leader at lap 22. So right now it's Frankenfield and Adriano Pinero have had the 2 top cars that they have battled back and forth. As you see, a battle for first right there down at the bottom of your screen, as 5 cars right there, I believe, are within excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, 9 cars are within 1 second of each other, within 1 second of the race leaders. So early, a group of 9 so far that are putting themselves out in front, pacing themselves, giving all the other cars in the field a little bit of distance. Lap 23, Frankenfield still out in the lead, can't build a big lead on any one of those other 8 cars. So currently, right now, it's hard to predict who's going to be out in front here when we get to the closing laps, because you got now add 10 cars to the mix as Nick DeGroot cracks his way into the top 10. Now he's ninth. Not 10 cars within 1 second of the race leader. Now we have a new race leader, Davis, in the number 43 machine, came out of nowhere to take the lead on lap 24. So exciting racing right out of the box to start the season here at Auto Club Speedway. As we see Pinero takes that bottom line. He can definitely get that car so far. That's something else I noticed. When Pinero wants to pass the lead, he can drive that machine all the way down, almost touching that white line, which is the shortest way around the track. And when he wants to get in the lead, he definitely can pull his car out of the draft and get down to that white line. As we see Chad Frankenfield does the exact same thing as he puts his car back out in the lead at lap 25. So the 2 strong cars, Pinero and Frankenfield, as they change positions again. These 2 are going to be, it seems like, unless something drastic happens, between both these cars. It looks like they're going to be battling for that top spot, battling for the win. As we get down to those closing laps, but I'm sure there's other cars back there as we see Lytle in the 29 machine. He has now cracked the top 10. Edwards in the number 3 entry is now ninth. So, and Nick DeGroot, we mentioned a little bit ago, he has climbed all the way up from 10th. He is currently P7. But back up to the front, it was Frankenfield. He is now overtaken by Schold in the number 4 entry. Schold finding his way back up to the front. As we say that again, just all kinds of jockeying for that number 1 position is Adriano Pinero. Finds his way back on top. Looking at the top 10, again, you have 10 cars within 1 second of the race leader. So you got your pack of cars, 1 through 10 that are bunched up, and then everybody from 11 on back there is spread out for a little bit. We'll see if they're able to rein this lead pack of cars in, as Schold has the lead, and then Pinero says, I want it right back. And he goes again down to that low line, down to the apex of the track, and takes that lead from Schold. And Pinero with his car out in front can't lead a full lap because Schold again passes him on the driver's side, and he is now in the race lead. I see Chad Frankenfield has slipped all the way, not all the way down. He was 4th. Now he's back up to 3. Tyler Rexon has cracked the top 5. He was 5th. Now he is 6th. So, just as you see people climbing and they're so packed together in this first race, everybody's packed together. You try to announce the spot they're in, and just as you go to announce it, somebody else passes them. So that's how close-knit this racing is so far. Right now you have 7 cars, 6 cars, 5 cars that are within 1 second of the leaders. So the top 5, top 6 kind of spreading themselves out a little bit as we roll along on lap 30 of 250 from the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. Thanks everyone for joining us for this first race of this 2024 season. As Schold has slipped his way out in front, but Simpson, the number 42 entry, is charging hard to make the pass. As Simpson does make that pass, and now Carlos, for some reason.
No, we're good. Sorry, no, we're good. That's just an issue on.
That's all right. We had a little bit of a video glitch there. I was going to have to call it by the timing and scoring, but we are good now. Just waiting for the timing and scoring pod to come back up, and we're seeing exciting racing that we have up on screen. I wanted to mention, as you see, is down in the bottom left and bottom right hand corners, the sponsors for this season on the Elite Racing Network. Thank them and for everything that they're able to do, that they bring this exciting racing to week in and week out. We're back to more video, and I can't quite tell you who is out in front. Our timing and scoring pod has glitched a little bit, and it's missing. So
we're having that issue right now, but I'm
okay.
Working on it, guys. Just keep on going.
Yep. It's great producer Carlos over there behind the keyboard. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't sound like I do. So huge props, huge flowers. Carlos is working ever so hard over there on his end to get the feedback. So ladies and gentlemen, just be patient with us for a minute. Like I said, this is the first race of the 2024 season. And they're still working out some of the kinks and some of the bugs. Getting 21st century technology doesn't always work exactly how you'd like it to work. And, what can go wrong will, but Carlos, the computer wizard over there, is working his magic to get the feedback up. But in the meantime, I am, like I said, at the start of the race, I am Derek Vance. You'll be able to hear me throughout the season. Maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. As we bring you this 2024 seasons. It looks like we may have our video back up, and we do. Uh, let the video populate here a little bit because it's probably on my end, but it does look like it's a little grainy. So I'll do the best I can with what I got here, and hopefully the video quality will get better over time here. So as you see, I can't. There we go. We are lap 37 of 250 as Nick DeGroot just had the lead, but he was overtaken, and it looks like Frankenfield was the individual. He's back on top there at lap 37. He is followed by Nick DeGroot and Adriano Pinero. So those three cars kind of showing the way for the rest of the field as Nick DeGroot finds his way back up to P1 on lap 38. I know everybody that does listen to these races, the different levels, different series. Nick DeGroot is a name I think that people are very familiar with, and I've seen firsthand the success that Nick has had in this league, and so hopefully his season this year will get off to a great start by winning this race. But he's gonna have to get past Chad Frankenfield, who is out in front again, as we are too wide going into the corner. Everybody escapes. Nothing, no harm, no foul there. Frankenfield still showing the way, but Nick DeGroot overtakes him for that P1. And like I said, one of the early observations, they're not, and I know that first round of pit stops is going to be coming here shortly, and that may separate this field a little bit, and show who's got the dominant car, show who's got their car dialed in from qualifying to now, as Tyler Rexing is your new race leader. So that might be where things get interesting, is pit stops coming up here shortly. We're at lap 41 of 250 as we see a car in the pits. Carlos, do we have a name or a number for that car?
Yeah, it's number 17, Corey Johnson down Pier Road. Also, Alan Stover. Excuse me. It looks like he had some connection issues, but he looks like he's back. He's the only driver I'm seeing going down Pier Road so far.
All right, so early pit stop there for the number 17 machine. Hopefully it was just something routine.
Oh, here we go. Frankenfield, Hayes, Barry, Jeff Story, Corey Johnson, all down Pier Road.
Yep, and just as we were talking about, who's going to make the right adjustments here in this first 42 laps. We see one of the leaders, Frankenfield, coming in, followed by a host of other cars. So we're going to see our first round pit stops here, and that's where things, again, like I said, are going to get very interesting, because we're going to find out how many of those top cars that were battling for the lead in those first 40 some laps, did they make the right adjustments here in this next racing segment? So they went about 40 laps or so, give or take, for their first stop. So we're going to be probably looking at around lap 82, 83 is when we're going to start seeing our second round of stops. So the cars that were in towards the front, did they make the right adjustments in car and out of car to keep themselves to the front, or did they make the wrong adjustments and overthought this a little bit, and they're going to be fighting the car for the next 40 so laps or so. So it's going to be interesting to see, as we see Davis, who was one of the leaders in that first segment of racing, has found his way after all the pit stops. He is shuffled to the front, and I'm sure he's going to have to come in here rather shortly. Forsythe overtakes the lead now. He is in P1, as we see Davis falling, so he's heading into the pits. So after this next round, or this first cycle of pit stops, we should have the leaders that were towards the front on the first round of pit stops. Frankenfield, Panero, that group should be cycling their way to the front here in very short. But while they do that, Forsyth is your leader. And just as I say that, he's heading into the pit. So it's going to be Troiano at lap 46. He is going to lead a lap before I think he needs to come in and make his first scheduled stop. As we see Tyler Fody, again, another name that people are familiar with that is finding his way to Q3. He's going to come in and pit soon as we see another host of cars dive down pit road to make their first stop of the race. Again, if you're just tuning in, I am Derek Vance, and this is the Into the Apex podcast 500 from the Auto Club Speedway in beautiful Fontana, California. Thank you for joining us. We are at lap 47. If you have missed the first 46 laps, we haven't had a dominant car. It's been a lot of back and forth between a handful of drivers. But we are finishing up our first round of pit stops. And like I said, just to reiterate just a few moments ago, it is going to be interesting to see which drivers made the right adjustments, the right calls on this first, after this first segment, racing segment, to see if they if what they did to the car helps the car, if what they did to the car battles the car, and if it does battle the car, how long can those drivers hold on to it? As we see, had a little bit of spin there in this pack racing that is up on screen. Franzoni is in the lead, and just as I say that, Tyler Cody takes the lead, and just as I say that, we have a new leader at the top of the board. So it's an exciting racing for this first race of the 2024 season. Hopefully you are enjoying it like we are up here in the booth, and you'll be able to join us all season long as we race through this 2020 season. A lot of exciting tracks ahead. I know Indy, everybody familiar that is familiar with racing knows the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I know the cars are going to be on track there not once but twice this year. They're going to be doing the Indianapolis Road Course this year, and then they're going to obviously be doing the famous, world famous Oval and this later this season. But first, we have this race on tap as Tyler Fody still finds his way out in front on lap 50 as we should be completing our first cycle of pit stops. And we've had one caution so far. It was a single car spin, but other than that, it's been a pretty clean race, I think, to say the least. Hopefully it stays that way, caution free. We don't want a bunch of cautions that slows the cars down, and these drivers can't get comfortable, can't get into the groove of the race. Running down the top 10 so far as we finish that first cycle of pit stops, it is Tyler Fody in the number 40 entry, followed by Sora in 19, P3 Fazzoni in the 13 entry, fourth Schoen in the number 32 car, number 5 Suddick in the number 22 car, Murphy is number 6 in the 69 machine, Smith 54 in position 7, Fortner in position 8 in the number 26 machine, number 9 Owens in the 45 machine, and then rounding out the top 10, Mesadu in the number 83 machine. Right now, you are looking at the race leader on lap 53. I see he has about a 0.15 lead over Schoen in the number 32 machine, who is right behind him, who is closing fast. So we may we may see another leader up on the leaderboard as we see Tyler Fody is heading into the pits. So take a deep breath here for a minute. We're just waiting for everyone else to recycle through, and then we should have our race leaders that we had at the beginning of the race should be able to cycle their way back up. As you see, there are a handful of cars that are one lap or more down. Hopefully, they'll be able to get back on the track and make up those laps
Oh,
and get back on the lead lap. What do we have here, Carlos?
it's pretty close, almost contact between Presti Sora and Rodrigo Franzoni going down Bear Road. Thankfully, they did not make contact, so that's all good. But wow, look at the top screen here in 3TV Multicam, and a lot of these drivers are going wherever they can in this ultra wide track to get as much spots as they can.
Yeah, these
Leader
cars
pit
are
road.
definitely. Yeah, these cars are definitely all over the place, trying to find a line that their car agrees with, and that they can run either the high line or the low line. And like you said, they have plenty of racetrack to race on. That is evident as we see Del Porta now is your race leader. Just waiting for those leaders to cycle through. It looks like we should be coming close to that here shortly, as we see another handful of cars into the pits. As here we go. There's we got the leaders shuffling back towards the front. Still, I know Del Porto still has to pit. So when everything comes back through, I do believe that Adriano Pinero, I think, if I have it correctly, should be the race leader. Or maybe Scholl should be the race leader when everything cycles through, as we're about done with our first round of pit stops. So, but Del Porta in the number 27 machine, he was trying to stay out as long as he could. And now he has to come in, and he relinquishes the lead back to the number 4 machine of Schultz. So at lap 57, our first round of pit stops are complete. And we still have the top 9 are within 1 second of the leaders. So the adjustments that these drivers made on board while in their pits looks like so far have been the right calls. As like I said, the first 1 through 9 is within 1 second, less than 1 second of each other, and they're closing on each other as fast as they can. As we see Frankenfield slides his way up to 2nd place. So some tight-knit racing here that we have had so far. We did complete our first round of pit stops, and you see Frankenfield goes underneath Scholl to take that top spot away. And it looks like Davis is going to follow suit, as he is going to go low and take the top spot away from Frankenfield. So just as much as our Frankenfield tries to secure that spot, Davis said, "No, you won't, not on my watch." So now Davis in the number 43 entry is out in front. Scholl and Frankenfield and others trying to run him down. As you see, Scholl trying to go low to get under Davis, and he does to complete the pass on lap 59. So Scholl back to the top spot. Frankenfield rather, excuse me, down to position 2, and that's going to drop Davis down to 3. So just as a driver, it seems like gets comfortable in the position that they're in, another car goes underneath him, just like we're about to see here with Frankenfield on the back. Frankenfield.
Well, we got a caution. We have a caution.
And we have our second caution of the race on lap 60. Carlos, have you determined exactly why that caution came out?
My telemetry software is pinging Alan Stover and Rob Gregory. I apologize if I get that wrong. Let's go ahead and hope it's one of these guys. Let's see. Well, let's hope it's none of these guys, but let's see what the replay is showing us here. Oh my goodness!
Oh wow! The eye in the sky never lies, and you see right there as the pace car about runs into the machine as well. But I'd like to see. It is Alex Stover. We can confirm that. A lot of heavy damage to not only the Stover entry, but let's watch this again. Let's see. Who may be at fault here. Um,
Oh, net code for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I don't fault anybody for this. Like I said, the internet can cause problems sometimes, so I can't see how the race officials here can determine what driver was at fault. Because I think you're absolutely right that a net code kind of caused this accident.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and take this moment to run a commercial or two, and then, then we'll get back and maybe talk about the actual race sponsors here for tonight's race. Actually, hold on. Before that, we got drivers going down Perry Road, Frankenfield, Schold. A lot of drivers down Perry Road, only a couple, I'm assuming the top 7, top 6. Some of these drivers that have just recently been in Perry Road, they're staying out, but 7th and back, currently live right now, are on Perry Road.
Yeah, and if you look at the scoring pylon on the left-hand side, you see some of the drivers that we've been talking about that have found their way to the front. The majority of the race just went in for their second stop. So the first cycle of pit stops goes through, and now we have a few of the leaders coming into pit as well. As you see, Chad Frankenfield was one, Davis in the number 43 entry, Schold in the number 4 entry. But I think the biggest loser in all of this, as you look at the top 10, is where do you find Adriano Pinero? He's been running towards the front. He's been battling for the front. He is all the way down to 13th position. So
Number 60 got the
he's got.
tally. We'll see. But let's go ahead and go to commercial, play a couple, and then we'll come back. So stay tuned, and we'll be back with some more green flag racing.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
All right, welcome back here as we are back at back at the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for Into the Apex podcast 500. We are at lap 64, and we are just finishing up our second caution of the day. Heavy damage to both vehicles. Both entries. Going to be interesting to see if both of these drivers can find their way back on the track and salvage this day. It's still a little early, but it's going to take a monumental effort for both of those cars to get back on the track if they are able to. I know me and Carlos were talking during the break, and you said that the number 60 car was docked points, and the point that I brought up was I'm curious from race officials what they seen and how they could determine that to dock a point
Well,
from that number 60 machine, especially if it was a issue with the internet and the encode.
yeah. Well, first of all, we're back. Green flag racing. Nicholas, the number 22, pulling off to a pretty big lead here. So it looks like Presley fell asleep behind the wheel. But they got the number 60 driver got a tally. That does not automatically mean they're going to lose a point. They got a tally, so it's not going to be it's not a points penalty for the time being, from my understanding. But what I saw initially, I think there was a little bit of contact before we actually did see the net code. If I get another chance, I'll maybe see if I can pull up the replay. So we got 3 right here for the race lead advantage. Tony showing. I think that is what maybe the officials are gathering for as to what maybe has caused the caution. But I'll let you go ahead and take that back over.
Interesting sight. It's not a dot point. It's just a tally, and like I said, interesting. Just that determined number 60 entry. Back at the lead, the number 19 entry of Sora finds its way to the. We're getting some newcomers to the there, as Tony showing. And the number 32 entry is at the top spot, but there is a car that is getting a little bit antsy, as you see going back and forth in that back of that pack there. He wants to put his nose up towards the front, as Murphy now has done in the number 69 entry, who's taking the lead. Just as he takes the lead, showing the number 32 entry finds his way back up to the front. So all of these cars, pack racing all together, jockeying for that number 1 spot, with just 68 laps into this 250 lap event, as Sora, number 19, finds his way back up to the top. But we do see Chad Frankenfield, who's been a major player so far in this race, creeping his way back up from taking that pit stop right as we went to that second caution, as we are on board with number 15, Chad Frankenfield, who went from number 2, finds that low line down there towards the white line, and he is now back in the crow's nest, or back there on the top spot, trying to hold off a pack of cars. As we look at the scoring pylon, and we have 1 through 10 is less than 1 second from the race leader. So what a close race we have had, and that's really been the distance so far for all of the top 10 cars. Everyone has been within about 1 second of the race leader. There's not that one car so far that can kind of find its way out to the front into that clean air and run away from everyone else. It's been pack racing for 70 laps so far, as we just go to lap 70 of 250. Murphy finds his way back to the front, slides Frankenfield to third. And Frankenfield, just looking at the top 10, Frankenfield and Scholl in the number 4 entry have been the only 2 that have been consistently in the front. Other cars, Pinero, who had a mishap a little bit ago, has found his way back out of the top 10. Number 29, Lytle. I know we talked about him early in the race. He has crept his way back up to the top 10. Forsyth in 9th place, as Frankenfield again finds his way to the point. I know he's trying to stave off the other cars that are behind him, but these cars are so close together so far in the first 71 laps, as Sora finds his way back up to the front. I can't wait till after the race when we get to talk to some of these drivers to see if the same things that they're seeing now is what we're seeing up in the booth, where it's just these cars are so identical and so close together that you can't have 1 or 2 cars break away from the pack. Everyone is right there within shouting distance of everyone else so far. After that first round of pit stops, some drivers have taken 2 pit stops so far, as we see more jockeying for position right here, as Scholl back up to the lead spot, and Frankenfield was bumped from the top 5. He was all the way back down to ninth. We see Adriano Pinero crack the top 10. He is currently P8. So everybody just want to ride right where they're at. Murphy in the number 69 entry finds his way to the front. So everybody getting a little bit of a taste as to what it's like so far in this 2024 season, to be at the point that we have so much more racing left in this first event here on this Thursday before this is settled. Obviously, I'm gonna be surprised as to the amount of passes that are going to be completed here in this first lap. And look how many passes, Carlos, we've already seen in just 74 laps, and we still have over 150 laps to go. So the passing is just so quick and so quick. You can be sitting in the top spot. You can be sitting at the top spot, and one or two turns later, Carlos, you could find yourself in 5th or 6th place.
Listen, I ran out of fingers to count within the first couple inches of this race going green in terms of number of passes. I was mostly focusing on the lead, and I feel like I always got to be in the multicam to even see what the rest of the field is doing, because you can't normally I cover a bunch of just stock car races, take a look at the lead on restarts, and then we just cycle through the rest of the field, see who's battling. Here I just can't keep away from the lead. We just have Butch Davis go 3 wide yet again for the lead. That's the 50th time that he himself has done that, and he hasn't led every single lap of this race. So it's really gonna matter is where you're at, where you're gonna be at on the last lap, and how you execute that final move. We also gotta be careful with the monkey see, monkey do mentality that I've almost been seeing some of these drivers do, following the vehicle in front of them. Maybe that driver makes a mistake, goes a little too high up into the wall, and then we see a line of 5, 6, 7 vehicles going up high and tagging the wall as well.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you brought up a great point that not only are we interested to see what the final number of passes is going to be in this race, but how many passes are we going to see? How many different lead changes are we going to see? How many we have an idea how many we've seen from the first 77 laps, but are the drivers going to be able to not only be patient, because they have plenty of track to race on, but when the money's on the line, are they going to be patient enough? Is there someone that's going to step out and do something crazy that could, one slip could take out a handful of lead cars? So I think that's going to be something to worth monitoring as this race unfolds. As Davis, I'm sure he has found his way back up to the front at lap 78. As you see a lot of single file down the backstretch, but also too, it seems like a lot of those cars are being they can hook up on that low line right there before they get down to the white line. That's where we've seen a lot of passing. I know Chad Frankenfield has used that to his advantage frequently. I know when Adriano Pinero, who is currently 10th, when he was racing towards the front, Carlos, when he needed to get to the front, he would hook up with that low line. So I know Frankenfield and Pinero, when if need be, they're fully confident that if they got to put their car down there towards that white line, that their car's going to hook up and give them that little extra boost to get to the front when these laps slowly tick off.
Quickly cut away from the lead for a second. They've had too much excitement, too much cover in this race. Let's take a look at the latter half of the field. It's a pretty big separation from this main pack all the way down to the drivers 25th, 26th, 27th. This is more calm. This is more calm than we're seeing out front as Zora and Fortner continue to battle for position. Everybody out there battling for position. A lot of these guys, they're not making moves as crazy. They're not moving around like we're seeing the front. It's a little more relaxed, a little more easy. Over here, it's like tight movements, very jittery, stuff like that. I mean, back there, it's all like, take it easy, got some jazz going on. However, we're only 82 laps into this 250 lap race at 500 miles to start this season off. I I expect to see once we get closer towards the latter half, especially the latter quarter of this race, all of these drivers are going to be bundled up in the front as quickly as and tightened up as much as they can.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And like I said a little bit ago, Carlos, there's plenty of track for these guys to race on. So they don't have to they don't get the feel like they're driving in a phone booth. For people that may not be familiar with the Auto Club Speedway, it is a asphalt surface.
Or was.
It is well, yeah, it was rather. It's 2,000 miles in length, 4 turns, and the turns banking is 14 degrees, and then the front stretch is 11 degrees, and the back stretch is 3 degrees. Oh, that was an interesting graphic we had.
Rest in peace. This beautiful track.
Okay.
Look what they've done to my boy.
I see. I see what you did there. Okay, I see what you did there. But yes, so it's 4 turns, 14 degrees of banking in the turns. Front stretch is 11 degrees of banking, and back stretch is 3 degrees. So getting back to racing to the front, as we are at lap 85, and the number 19 entry of Sora leads the way. But there are a pack of hungry drivers behind him. Schold is in second place. Tyler Fody.
Oh, Hobson having an issue. Rundown. Hobson into the inside barriers.
Hobson into the inside.
Look at that.
Yep, and you see the left front there. That's not supposed to do that, folks. If you're new to racing, that's not supposed to do that. Heavy damage there on the left side. We're still under green, but maybe if we can find if we're able to do that, find a replay of
Am I able to
Hobson
do that?
Accident.
Yeah, just give me a hot second. I'll get something cooking for you.
He's cooking, folks. You got to watch out. Carlos is cooking. That's another show we need, Cooking with Carlos. See, but we'll get to that replay there and see what exactly led to that Hobson entry wreck, hitting the inside.
Here at the top.
Here we go at the top here.
It looked. Is that an echo?
It looked. It does. It doesn't look like it didn't look like anybody touched Hobson's machine, but I think you're absolutely right. Let's put that back as he's coming out of the turn right there. Carlos, what do we see here?
I don't have the best angle to see. If there was contact, if there was contact, for sure the car would have reacted like we see here. But the question is, should there have been contact? He hit the tire barrier, which I guess normally would not cause that much damage to a vehicle, but I think at the speed, regardless, that's just significant damage. For sure, race-ending type of damage. But I'm actually not too familiar with how iRacing deals fixability on these vehicles. I know they can quickly swap out the front wings, like they do in real life. But that right there, even in real life, is not a quick fix.
No, but no, for people that are unfamiliar with the way IndyCar is, each team brings at least 2 front nose cones. That was the term that Carlos was looking for. They bring 2 front nose cones, 2 wings, just in case if something like that does happen. They can take their car into the pits or into the garage and change that nose piece out as quickly as possible to get their driver back out on the course. So it's going to be interesting to see how quickly the Hobbs crew there can get that nose piece fixed and have him back out on the track. Also going to be interesting to see how race control scores that, if they're going to give
they may tally.
Not. I'd love to hear their explanation on this one. We talked about the second caution we had. We both thought that it was more in code than an actually real accident. So this looks like this could be the same situation. Hopefully, we can get a quick response from race control, a quick explanation as to how that's going to be scored. So we'll wait for that, and we'll bring it to you as soon as we have it. We are at lap number 91, and a familiar face at the front, well, was at the front. Tyler Fody, who was just at the top position, gets passed again by number 19, Sora. So Sora takes the point, but I don't think it's going to be too long as Tyler Fody is closing and closing fast as we see Fody go around Sora to take that top spot back. But I don't think it's going to be too long because as we say that, Fortner in the number 26 entry on lap 92, he's going to take over the pole position. But as he does that, Fody takes it back, and then he loses it to Sora. So within 3 seconds, we have 3 different lead changes. That is how fast, heavy that the racing has been so far. As we have the top 8 cars, are all within 1 second or less of the leader. And I know some of the cars that we've seen out in front or earlier, Frankenfield and Panero are the first 2 that come to mind. They have been shuffled to the back. So some new players up here towards the front as we slowly climb to lap 94 of 250. If we can, see if we can do Carlos a rundown of the top 10 of each car and how they're running. I know it's a quick evolving race here, but out in front so far, gonna be out in front. Nope. Second place rather. Paisley Sora in the number 19 entry for Paisley Sora Racing as he gets shuffled to third. To fourth. Now back to third.
We're gonna cancel that. They're going down pit road.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, we got pits are open, and we see one car is going to go down pit road. How many other cars are going to follow suit? We figured, the first cycle of pit stops was about 42, 43 laps, and we should be coming to that mark shortly. So I know a couple cars that stayed out, particularly, I think, or didn't stay out, but took a extra pit so far. I believe Adriano Panero was one. Chad Frankenfield was another. So it's interesting to see if maybe their strategy is going to play out to where they can stay out a little longer than these other cars, since they did pit right after the second caution, as we're slowly climbing to lap 100 of 250 of this Into the Apex podcast. 500 from the Auto Club Speedway right outside beautiful Fontana, California, as Murphy finds his way back into the lead on lap 97, but not to be outdone. Tyler Fody was going to take the lead, but Murphy wasn't going to have any of that, as he is back in the top spot in the number 69 entry. So I think how this is going to play out, unless something drastic changes, as we see another player towards the front, Lytle, in the number 29 entry. We haven't talked about him all night tonight.
Murphy
he found his way to the front, and Murphy, and now it's going to be a fight now between Lytle and Tyler Fody. Fody has taken the lead back, but Lytle's going to take it right back from him. So as earlier we've seen in the race with Frankenfield and Panero, now it's Lytle and Fody.
Hold up.
1-2 as we see.
We've had an issue somewhere in the track. We've had an issue in the track, all right? Fortunately, Justin Fortuner, I'm being told, went off track and then he took a tow. Let's go ahead and queue up a quick replay. See what happened. Whoa, that's...
Whoa.
Okay, so something happened since he left pit road. Okay, let's go back even further. Whoa! Okay, I think I need manual control. I don't know what happened.
It's going to be interesting. Whoa. It's going to be interesting to see how this car found its way into the infield.
Clipped the apron!
He clipped the apron, which sends him a little bit airborne and through the grass into the inside barrier. Sends him airborne again as you see pieces come flying off. The left front tire is not intact like it's supposed to be. And then he sends him right back onto the track. I'm glad that he was able to keep that car down low in the apron, because I would have hated to see, as we're still under green here, we just hit lap 100, so we have 50 laps to go, but I'm glad that Fortner was able to keep that car down on the apron, because I can't imagine, Carlos, the havoc that would have caused if that car would have shot back straight up the racetrack.
Yeah, sorry, I apologize. I thought I had received a ping. Any driver that may be tuning in that has crashed out or is in the race and then maybe eventually crashes out, you are welcome to join the waiting room. DM me or any other room if the waiting room is unavailable, and then we'll love to bring you up on there at the Infield Care Center and then get your point of view of what happened if you were involved in an incident.
Yeah, Carlo, you're absolutely right. If there's a driver that had to retire for one issue or the other, we would love to bring you in and give us, your insight, obviously, firsthand on the track today, as we see someone else.
Michael Hossack.
The pits, Hossack.
Hossack. Corey Johnson exiting Pit Road as well.
Okay, so another round of pit stops here, as we see, looking at the timing and scoring. Frankenfield and Pinero, who have been players so far in this race, are finally inching their way back up to the top, as Frankenfield in fourth, Pinero in seventh. But I think that's going to change here for
Cody, Sadiq, Morales, all down Pit Road right now.
So another round of pit stops, and things are going to get a little bit crazy, I think, the closer we get to the ending of this race. Like I said, I know Frankenfield and Pinero are probably on the same strategy. You see Lytle slide his way down the scoring column. But Frankenfield finds his way back up to the front, and then he's passed by Scholl, and then Davis passes Scholl for first. But I think Frankenfield and Pinero are going to be on the same pit strategy. And the reason why I say that is, if you weren't tuned in earlier in the race, after our second caution, Pinero and Frankenfield excuse me.
Massive drivers. Ethan Stanley, Fuller, Davis, Scholl, Brown, DeGroot, all down Pit Road at the same time. You're right there, Derek? Need some water. We have, listen, the complimentary water we have in this broadcast booth is much better than the one I'm used to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh my goodness!
Grab me a bottle of that. Whoa! We got a pit incident. Do we have a replay on that to see?
Kevin DeBrown. Exactly I'm going to queue one up. It's Chad Frankenfield slides it going down Pit Road. So give it a moment. Oh shoot! Who was it again? DeBrown, right? Yeah, DeBrown. And the number 39 machine. I'll queue it up. You keep on talking, my bro.
Yes, we see another round of pit stops, and what I was trying to get on was earlier in the race, after our second caution, both Chad Frankenfield and Adriano Pinero came into the pits right after that caution. So that's why I believe they're on the same strategy, and they're able to stay out a little longer than
all right, here's the replay.
Cars.
Look at the top screen.
Replay. Top screen, as we see cars breaking off into the pits.
Oh, too much rear brakes?
You know what? I think he overshot his pit.
I think he stopped somewhere over here. I'm not quite sure. Because it looks like he kept going.
Well, if that's the case, it seems like he stopped too early. I think
no, you're right. Yeah, because this pit's right there. Hold on.
I think he overshot it.
Yeah, you got a fair point. Let's back her up just a little, okay? All right, slow it down again.
I think
gonna go through here. Yep, too much rear brakes. The rear end is locked up, and then unfortunately hits the outside wall right there. Boom.
The only other explanation I could see is that the car that was beside him, maybe he didn't think that car cleared yet.
Oh, maybe.
That would be the only other explanation.
The cars don't ghost at that point. Kevin Brown did have a meatball flag that just got cleared.
Yeah, that's the only explanation I got is we're back to live racing is he didn't know the depth perception of that car and he still thought it was beside him. That's the only thing I could come up with. But as we're back to live racing here, as we see that Adriano Pinero has found his way back up to the front. Three familiar names, if you look at it, in this league that are in the front: Adriano Pinero, Tyler Fode, number 2, and Chad Frankenfield, number 3. So those three have been players in this race so far today, and they're starting to maybe fan out there a little bit as we only have 4 cars that are within 1 second of the leader. Everyone else is slowly starting to lose ground a little bit. So maybe these cars are starting to get a little bit established. Drivers are starting to get the feel as to where their car can hook up at on the track, where their car can't hook up on the track. Is Pinero. This may be, you know what? This may be the longest someone has had the lead in this race so far, because normally it seems like the trend is as soon as they get that top spot, Carlos, there's another car going down to the apron, down to that white line to pass him. As you see, Frankenfield overtakes Fode for that second spot. I know, and just as I say that, Fode comes right back and overtakes Frankenfield for that second spot, and then they switch spots again. So a lot of jockeying for position for that number 2 spot. As you see, Tyler Fode sliding down a little bit. He is now currently 6th, so he went from 2 to 6 in just a matter of moments. Have we got any ruling yet as to what's going to happen to Brown for that pit road incident?
Oops, excuse me, my internet was muted. The only ruling I'm seeing, I don't even know if I can mention it, but this is from a while back, so no. No ruling. I'm assuming that since it didn't actually cause an actual issue within the race as a whole, and the only issue was just the driver involved, there may not be a tally given. But of course, this is all unofficial. It can be changed if needs to. I'm sure all the officials will get together maybe after the race, review it, and if something needs to be done, then we'll hear about it. But then we'll get that to you next broadcast.
All right, so back to live racing here, as we see Chad Frankenfield out in front on lap 113 of this 255 lap race. But Stanley closing fast as he's going to take a peek to the inside. He is going to overtake Frankenfield at the start-finish line, and your new leader, Stanley, in the number 91 machine. Not sure how long that's going to last, because I know Frankenfield is going to try to get down below, down to that white line and pass like he has all race long. And just as I mentioned that's exactly what he does, is he goes underneath Stanley and overtakes Stanley back in that number 1 position. I know a little bit ago we seen Lytle, fall. He just got back to the top 10, and then he falls out of the top 10. Stanley, as we're looking at someone else, he overtakes Frankenfield. Stanley back at the point. I'm not sure how long that's going to last. So you see a hard charging Chad Frankenfield as he's going to take a peek to the inside, and as he does that, he is going to overtake Stanley for the lead. Tell me if you've heard that one yet today, as Frankenfield shows the way on lap 115. Carlos, how surprised are you as to how these cars can't get out in that clean air and pull away from the rest of the pack?
I'm not really surprised that these drivers are unable to do that. We've seen IndyCar races. I'm not gonna it's I can't even hide it. I'm not too familiar with IndyCar racing as a whole. I do watch very casually, but from my basic understanding is that it's very hard to pull away. And remember, this is a fixed setup race, so a lot of these drivers, they're the only difference here is the actual driver's skill compared to the setup that they have, as opposed to somebody that's got a very tuned up vehicle, tuned up Lara, compared to maybe somebody else who either wasn't able to hit the track setup or lacks the resources or knowledge to get a really fast setup. So it's gonna be nearly impossible because I've seen it happen before. So you can't say impossible because you've seen it happen before, but it's gonna be very hard, very improbable for one driver by himself to just pull away from the field. I think the only time we've seen that this race was during green flag pit stops, and that's when we've had drivers a lap or so down because they went down pit road kind of in between the lead lap drivers.
So I think what you're saying, Carlos, for the the casual fan that just tunes in to iRacing, or maybe it's just tuning in for the first time. Basically, what you're saying is these cars are basically all the same, and it's mostly up to the skill of the driver and the resources that the driver has. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Sorry, I had to deal with a small technical issue, and unfortunately did not fully comprehend what you said, but I believe that is what you said.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm not fully 100% the gizmos and gadgets of how iRacing works, but yeah, I think for the most part, these cars are all the same setup, all the Dallara chassis, all the same setup.
Yes,
Now
yes.
It's just up to the skill and resources that the driver has at his disposal to help him win a race. As we see Chad Frankenfield find his way back out to the front. We are at lap 121 of 250 as we see a pack of cars pass Frankenfield, move him back to 3. Brody back to the point. Fuller, who we have not talked about a whole lot this evening, he has found his way to P2. Owens P3, and just as we say that, he bumps down to P4. Frankenfield trying to pick up that momentum that he had just a little bit ago to find his way back to the front, as he does right there with the pass of Fuller. So Frankenfield flexing his muscle a little bit. That's got to be, I think, somebody, as this race unfolds here at lap 122, Carlos, to keep an eye on, because we've seen Frankenfield get passed, get bumped to the back of the pack, but we've also seen Frankenfield flex his muscle at the front today as well.
Yeah. Currently at lap 122, we did have a couple cautions earlier on in the race. If you're just tuning in now, we're starting to wind up. A lot of these drivers, they're all warmed up, they're ready to go. I want to go ahead and take a moment to thank our series sponsors, Warriors for Peace. Warriors for Peace is the foundation promoting peaceful change in the world to honor the beautiful life of Jack Shockley. Check out warriorsforpeace.org. That is warriors, the number 4, peace.org for more information.
Yeah, definitely check that out. Check that sponsor out, as well as the rest of the sponsors that you see scrolling through the bottom left and right hand corners of your screen. And the one you see right there, the Push to Pass podcast. I can talk about that a little bit. That is actually the podcast that myself, along with Josh Roberts, does during the IndyCar season. So we're going to be coming up here within the next couple weeks when IndyCar kicks off their 2024 campaign. A lot of driver movement, a lot of new drivers. I think it's going to make for a very exciting season in the in IndyCar. Make sure you find the Push to Pass podcast on YouTube or all other podcast outlets. We do go to a handful of races. I know last year we were at all 3 Indy races, the Indy Grand Prix in the month of May, obviously the 500, and then the it used to be the NASCAR doubleheader, which that's not going to be returning this year. So IndyCar is only going to have, if memory serves me correctly, they're only going to have 2 races at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway this year instead of 3. And then we did find our way to Detroit for that inaugural race in the streets of downtown Detroit. What a great time That was racing right there by the Detroit River, and then we also found ourselves in Nashville. Love everything about Nashville. If you've never been down there, you know what I'm talking about. If not, I highly suggest taking a weekend and heading down, especially if you are a country music fan. Definitely head down to Nashville, Tennessee, because you will absolutely enjoy it. So, looking forward to covering those races, as we have 124 laps to go. Chad Frankenfield has a 0.5 second lead over Brody with 124 laps to go. Looking forward to not only having a double header this year, Carlos, like they have at Iowa. There we go. I had to think about it a minute. In Iowa, but Milwaukee, getting back to Milwaukee.
You want to stop me for a second? I do apologize. We have lost our primary feed, and with that, our graphics. So we have our backup redundancy ticker. For the time being, just give me a couple seconds, and we should have everything back up to normal.
Good deal. Did you see Chad Frankenfield out in the lead with just 123 laps to go? But like I said, this year, the IndyCar schedule, if you're unfamiliar with it, they got 2 double headers this year. Iowa, and then IndyCar going back to Milwaukee. So definitely can't wait to see how both of those double headers play out. Season kicks off, I believe, the first weekend in March, St. Petersburg. I know I'm going to be in the Orlando area, which is just a straight shot from St. Petersburg. I'm going to try to make it over there never been to St. Petersburg, so it'd definitely be an experience. But if you are at one of those races that I talked about, that the Push to Pass podcast is going to make it to, definitely check us out. Say hi. Love talking racing with each and every one of you. As we see, we get our regular graphics back. We are at lap 130 as Davis is trying to cling to a 1/10 of a second lead over Chad Frankenfield, who has been up to the front all night. Very impressive as he does overtake.
Let me tell you, I see you've been trying for the last couple laps to you've been eyeing that mini fridge with the awesome refreshing water that we have. So I'm gonna go ahead. Well, we're still hot. We still have hot racing action. Let's go ahead and let's bring the noise. Let's hear these engines come to life for even for a couple laps while we give you a chance to relax. We'll drink some refreshing water, and then we'll get back to some more commentary here very, very soon.
And welcome back. Love to hear the sound of those engines at full throttle, and that's something that I think all of us have missed all winter long, no matter where you're at in the country or on this world, on this planet. That is one thing I think everyone has missed is the roar of those engines, and gets our blood flowing, gets everything pumping, because we know that racing is just around the corner. Again, we are at lap 136. I see we have a car in the pits. Who do we have over there?
Presley Sora went down Pear Road.
Interesting. He has been battling for the lead ever since this race kicked off. Maybe going off strategy a little.
The NASCAR Cup Series.
Front as we're going to go to the replay.
I apologize. No, I hit the wrong button. I had hit the wrong button. I apologize.
That is all right. As we see Presley right there going down the back stretch. Hopefully everything is okay with his machine. Back up to the front though, it is number 88 Brody leading the way. Frankenfield right on his heels. As we see another car into the pits. Is this the? Nope, this isn't a different one. Who is this?
Kevin Hayes.
Evan Hayes into the pits, making a quick stop as we see
Kevin Hayes, Corey Johnson as well.
Evan Hayes. Okay, get a quick stop there. You see the car off the jack and out of the pit box to get back into the action. As we are about to complete one lap 140, as you see that number 43 Davis out in front. But like we said, Chad Frankenfield, who has been up to the front all night long, is nipping at his heels and ready to make that pass through lead, just like he does right there. But Brody was going to have none of it as he passes Frankenfield again to put him back in the lead spot. So still got a looks like going through the leaderboard, still have a handful of cars still on the lead lap, but we also have a handful of cars that are not on the lead lap. So what a tough start for their 2024 season. I know they were trying to get out of the box on a good note, but unfortunately sometimes that just doesn't happen, as we have, it looks like 30 cars maybe that are on the lead lap, and then everybody 27, and everybody from 28 on back is down at least one lap. So a lot of ground to make up as these laps slowly tick away. Brody is your race leader just by a slim margin. As soon as we say that, Frankenfield closes the gap and then usually overpasses the leader, just like he does right there. So like I said, we talked about this earlier. The race info, the race statistics are going to be interesting to see how many passes total and how many changes of the lead we had for this race, because I think, like you said, you've lost count here on lap 142. Brody back finds his way towards the front, but Frankenfield short-lived because he overtakes Brody for the lead. I see we have another car strolling down pit road. Who is this?
Number 25, Julian Altana and Mark Murphy in the number 69 machine. We also have Tony Schoen going down Pear Road, locking it up just a little bit, but everything looks to be A-OK.
Yep, 3 cars right there on pit roads. They're trying to maybe get out of the pit cycle there, going on an alternative strategy. We'll see how that works for them. Frankenfield has slipped down to P3, now back up to P2, now back up to the lead. So just as you thought that Frankenfield may be slipping just a tad, he finds his way back up to the front, but he's got 2 hard charging cars behind him. Going to take the high line there, Schold for the lead, and I think Brody may go with him as well. Frankenfield doing all that he can to hold them off, but those cars just may be too strong at this point for Frankenfield. As you see, Schold trying to pull up side by side with him. I know he does have a car behind him pushing him. Frankenfield.
Whoa, there we go.
Oh, he's going down into the pits. So what a interesting call here for Chad Frankenfield as he's going to head into the pits at lap 145. So he's going to give the lead to Scholl there in the number 4 entry. Brody is hard charging as well. He's been up there for the majority of the race as well. I think somebody that was a player early, right there, Adriano Pinero. He is 11th. Curious to see if he's going to be able to find his way back up to the front as we see another car, a handful of cars, rather, excuse me, going down pit road. Who are all these?
Yeah, it's Ryan Scholl, Butch Davis, Jordan Owens, and Tyler Fody going down pit road all at the moment.
So another group of cars coming down pit road. I'm wondering if that is by design, if they they all decided on one lap, on lap 145, 146. And what?
Scholl is struggling. Oh, he's got the infinite loop. He overshot it, brought it back down to get in line, but he's too far to the left. He can't get away from the left side pit wall. It looks like they're finally able to jack it up, but he is frustrated. That is plenty of time and positions he has lost, and it's just an unfortunate pit stop. Not really late in the race, but significantly late enough where this could very much factor in to his possible final position, especially if we do not have another caution.
Oh, no doubt. Scholl has been a player at the front of the race all race long, but that mishap there in the pits is definitely going to cost him. Now, will it cost him the race? That remains to be seen, but it's definitely going to cost him a lot of track position, and he's going to have to work his tail off in these last almost 100 laps that are left to fight back up there for the lead. So that may have just taken out one of the players that has been a contender all race long for this race. As we see Adriano Pinero found his way to the front, but that was shortly lived as Franzoni, the number 13 machine, is leading the point as we are just getting down to 100 laps left in this in the Apex podcast. 500 here at the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. So we've seen a lot of aggressive driving, a lot of jockeying for position. We see another car that has to hit the brakes. Who's coming down pit road this time?
Adriano Pinheiro. And Victor Del Porto from Benaport Pro Racing, and Mark. No, excuse me. He is exiting pit road. I apologize. It looked. He's actually further up than I thought for somebody who went down pit road. I thought somebody had spun out and they were just hemorrhaging positions. But no, that's just him getting back up on the racetrack and losing those spots that he did. Rodrigo, Adriano, and Victor all down pit road at the moment.
All right, so with less than 100 laps to go, a lot of the leaders are pitting, and it's going to be interesting to see, because if I was my strong suit in high school was not math, Carlos, but it seems like to me that they get about 40 to 45 laps in before they have to pit. So as we see, before I get to finishing my thought here on this math, have you noticed how many cars tonight have had to lock the back brakes up coming down pit road to get to that pit road speed?
Significantly, a lot of drivers I've seen have had to do that, ranging from a little bit to very significant. And well, this time with Craig, from what I understand, only Canadian on the field that, or even attempted to qualify, has locked up the front end of his 4D racewear machine.
I think whoever ends up winning this race tonight, when we talk to the drivers, when we interview them after the race, I think that's a question I think we need to bring up is, we've seen a lot of guys, a lot of drivers have to lock up the back brakes to get down to pit road speed. I wonder if that's just the way the track is designed, or if pit road comes up to those guys so quickly that they don't realize it. I'm kind of curious to get the thoughts on the three drivers tonight about that. But back to the front, I see Frankenfield had the lead, but he has now slipped to P3. Simpson in the 42 entry is showing the way, followed by Fuller in the number 5 machine. And then you find Chad Frankenfield in the number 15 machine in P4. Brody slips to, or excuse me, Frankenfield to 3, Brody to 4, and Adriano Pinero, who was battling for the lead early in this race, has worked his way back up into the top 5. So Frankenfield and Pinero, who were battling it out lap by lap, pass by pass early in the race now, are slowly making their way to the front. So I wonder if these last 90 laps or so, Carlos, if we're going to see the battle that we've seen at the beginning of the race between Chad Frankenfield and Adriano Pinero, as Frankenfield takes another spot, slides him up to P2. He is on the move, trying to get to that P1 spot and see if he can hang on. But the math thought that I was coming up with earlier, as I see we got math equations flying up on the screen, but I think it's as long as this race stays caution free, it would seem like to me, Carlos, that these cars only have to pit one more time.
That sounds like an astute observation. I struggled very much in math, so I'm just gonna go with your flow and hope your math is correct. I also do not have my calculator at this moment on my phone, but it's all the way across the room. But yeah, so we talked about the mistakes that we've seen some of these drivers make entering pit road and even entering their pit box, as we saw with a front contender. This next one should hopefully be the last one. You haven't made a mistake now. You can't afford to make a mistake on this hopefully last green flag pit stop. Because if you do, that's it. Your race is done. If you make a mistake, you're looking at finishing at the moment. Listen, if you make a mistake that costs you a second and a half, you're out of the top 15. If you make a mistake that costs you over 5 seconds, then you're out of the top 22. If you make a mistake that costs you over 10 seconds, you're out of the top 30. And you may be a lap down.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see early in the 2024 season how much these drivers have improved in the off season, especially when it comes to the patience department as these laps slowly tick away. Simpson first, followed by Fuller, Davis, Owens, and Frankfurt round out your top 5. Again, if you're just tuning in, you've missed one heck of a race where we have had lead change after lead change. One car can't consistently stay out front. As you see, Fuller takes the top spot, but in a lap or two, he's going to be passed, if sooner, by someone else. You see a hard charging Owens, who overtakes Fuller, just like I said there. So it's been lead change after lead change behind possibly a handful or more of drivers. It's been a pretty much accident-free race, and I say that now, but I can't imagine what's going to happen now that I've just jinxed it. We've had 2 cautions. We had a single-car caution the first time around, and then a multi-car caution for the second time. That's the only 2 cautions we've had for the race so far, as we are at lap 160 of 250. And Sora out in the lead. Go ahead.
Yeah, speaking of, we're going caution-free here so far. Oh, excuse me. Caution-free since the last incident. Significantly in this race. This race has mostly been run green flag pit stops. I also want to take a moment to thank our race sponsor. Don't know why I added in. It's Into the Apex Motorsports podcast. The Into the Apex Motorsports podcast has brought the feel of real and virtual motorsports for over 3 years, every week reliably. It's not your dull hour of sim racing radio. It's edgy. It's a campground at the Sebring 12 hours, like a real group of sim racers on a Friday night. This, excuse me, now I need some of that water. This is provocative motorsports talk. Subscribe and follow weekly at intotheapex.com and Excuse me, and you can also follow them on Spotify and iTunes as well. So tune in on intotheapex.com. Check them out on Spotify and iTunes. And thank you so much for sponsoring tonight's season opener.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely can't show enough love to the sponsors of this race and the other races that you can see on the Elite Racing Network. You know, if it wasn't for those sponsors, we wouldn't be able to bring you this amazing coverage of this race and others. So huge props, huge thank you to them. We were at lap 163 as we see Chad Frankenfield finds his way back to the top. Not sure how long that's going to be, how long lived that's going to be. But yes, Carlos, I highly suggest getting into to that fridge that is well stocked with water. Huge thank you to the Auto Club Speedway hospitality here for stocking that mini fridge here in the booth with such high quality as the water boy would say. High quality H2O is definitely needed for the length of this race and how our voices are going in and out, getting used to getting back on the horse there and calling races in the 2024 season as Frankenfield trying to flex his muscle, stay out in front, but he's going to be overtaken by number 43 Davis. And when I think of racing and I think of the number 43 Carlos, I can't help but think the King, Richard Petty, in that STP colors in the number 43 on the NASCAR circuit.
Definitely similar-ish matching on Butch Davis's FBR Motorsports entry. And yeah, of course, 43, you always got to think of the King. Of course, now the King taking a massive step back from his ownership duties, you know, now that Richard Petty Motorsports is now rebranded into Legacy Motorsports, I believe. Excuse me, I'm blanking on the name right now. With you know, the ownership investment of a seven-time champion Jimmy Johnson, not to be confused with the head coach Jimmy Johnson.
Actually, a quick story. Speaking of the race car driver, Jimmy Johnson, the first year that he was in IndyCar, his first time out at the Indianapolis 500 or out at IMS. And actually, it was my first time being able to be a part of the media there for the 500. And I'm coming down from the fourth elevator, the fourth floor of the media center to go out onto the main concourse with the fans and head to the garage. And I get off the elevator on the first floor, and who else do I run into than Jimmy Johnson? So I got to meet him for the first time there. Nice guy, very nice guy. Also, speaking of people being able to meet in the racing world, this past 500, I got to meet Dale Earnhardt Jr., and that was one of my idols watching IndyCar, watching NASCAR, and seeing how Jr. would do on the track week in and week out. Believe it or not, now I'm not a tall guy. I'm only 5'7", and for people that have not met Dale Earnhardt Jr. or seen him in person, he's not much taller than me. Now he's probably maybe 150 pounds soaking wet, but he's probably 5'8" at the smallest. So he's not a tall guy by any stretch of the imagination. But getting back to on-track activities, we are at lap 169 of 250, and Chad Frankenfield has found his way back up to the front. He is led for the race. He has been sent to the back of the pack for the race, but he has worked hard to get back up to that top spot. He holds a 0.6 of a second lead over second place Sora in the number 19 entry. So we'll see if Frankenfield's able to flex his muscle and stay out in front as the laps are slowly starting to tick away. He has been a player in this race from the drop of the green flag up until now. Early part of the race, it was himself along with Adriano Pinero, who were going back and forth as to who wanted first place, who wanted second place. I know they stepped out a little bit in the pit strategy today, and that may help both of them advantage-wise stay up towards the front as this race comes to its conclusion. But for right now, Frankenfield out in front, but there's a whole host, Carlos, of hungry drivers with good cars behind him that are just waiting for Chad to make a mistake, because when he does, they are ready to pounce.
Yeah, I don't know if it's safe to say that Chad has led the most laps of this race, but he has definitely led plenty of laps here tonight, especially some of these drivers that maybe weren't up in the front, like the majority of the race is trying to show up and are now in a position where they're thinking, huh, maybe I'll have me a little taste of this lead. So we got 79 laps to go, just crossed past the 80 laps to go. This race is heating up, especially with you mentioning we have at least one more pit stop for sure guaranteed, one green flag or not. So whatever's going on, the drivers you're seeing now are the drivers we're probably going to be seeing here crossing the white flag.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely for sure. We'll try to run down the top 10 as we can, but just keep in mind that this is so fluid. The way these cars are passing each other, that we could say the same name twice. But out in front is Chad Frankenfield, followed by Sora, Davis, Smith, and Fuller, round out the top 5. Then it's Murphy, Musselman, Owens, Nick DeGroot, Owens again, and Hayes rounding out the top 10. So I know we've talked about some of these drivers that have been towards the front. I know Brody's been up there tonight, Nick DeGroot, Musselman's been up there, Murphy's been up there, Smith, Davis, Sora, and especially Frankenfield. So as these laps tick off one at a time, we're starting to see as they say, the proverbial cream rise to the top. And I think we're going to be in for, again, unless something drastic happens, a wreck that takes out a handful of cars or something. I think, Carlos, we're going to be in for a fantastic finish to the start of this 2024 season.
Yeah, well said. Looks like we may have a guest joining us here in the booth for the last 70 or so laps. I'm currently working to get the details sent out to this driver. So why don't you go ahead and keep on talking for just a little bit longer.
All right, can't wait to see who could potentially be joining us. If it is a driver, we'll get his perspective on how his race went today and what some of the things to look out for as these laps slowly tick off one at a time. As we are at lap 176, and Frankenfield has been able to hold a little bit of a consistent lead. As we do see a car in the pits, Carlos, who do we have here?
We got a bunch of drivers on pit road. Adriano, we got Brian Edwards, Corey Johnson, Presley Sora, Kevin Hayes, as well as Jared Rexing, and Jess Story was in pit road for a while, but he is back out there now. But it looks like we have another set of pit stops, which I still think is too early for these guys. So we may see these guys in pit road come down at least one more time.
Yeah, it may be a little early, so it's going to be interesting to see. Maybe these cars are going strategy to see, maybe get a caution to go the way and can find a way to the front here before the checkered flag falls. But Frankenfield is still in the slim matter. David right on his heels in the number 43 and the NPP, and as he is following the footsteps of wheel tracks, like I did say. Can feel Nick DeGroot has worked his way up to 4th position. Muscle was 6th, back to 7th. Lighty, the 9th position, and Brody, the top, who was a player earlier in the race, is down to 31st position. And close, I do see, as you promised, as you talked about, we do have somebody.
Derek,
Well, if you're talking about myself, gentlemen, you have the Dean Biggles at the moment here. Welcome along, of course.
Yeah, welcome. It looks like, unfortunately, Derek may be having some connection issues. He was struggling there for a second, but welcome aboard, Dean. I hope you're doing all right. You're still currently 72 laps remaining here in this race. In the middle of the green flag cycles, Eric Marcelo and Julian Altena are down Pear Road. Do apologize for my quality and screen share for you, Dean, as I only have so much bandwidth in general.
It's all good, of course. It's into the Apex. It's the Auto Club 500. Welcome everybody, of course, out there in the chat. I can read all those messages going on. Loving to see this field at the moment, gentlemen. A lot of cars, 52 plus and change at the moment there. 180, 102, 150 to go. IndyCar is back, ladies and gentlemen, and it's back with a vengeance.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Sorry about the mishap. Good to see you join us, Mr. Biggles. I know you've been watching this. We're at 181 laps. What is your perspective so far? I know we haven't had one dominant car. We've had, we lost track of how many lead changes we've had, how many passes we've had. But from your perspective, what have you seen so far in this first race of the 2024 season?
Everybody's stretching their wheels really at the end of the day, isn't it? They're trying to get a feel for back again, of course, and in the IndyCar Series, since we've had that break about a year and changes here, a bunch of drivers down there pit road at the moment. I don't know, they're stretching their wings at the moment, my friend. They are getting a feel for this track. There's a lot of cars, 3, 4, 5 wide as well, too. That's what you'd like to see. It's pace, it's performance, and it is just pure speed. So, I mean, at the end of the day, there really is no great performance. It's just about getting those tires under there, get that feel there. Plenty of racing to go.
Yeah, Frankenfield, Fuller, Morales aren't going down Pear Road.
I know something that we've talked about that we've noticed is the amount of drivers that have had to lock up their that have locked up their rear
I have a replay, guys.
Replay here. Yep, go with it.
This is, I believe, Fuller, who I saw went down Pear Road and then all of a sudden took a tow. Let's take a look and see what happened. Did he make a mistake? Did he get some help? He sped. He sped. Oh, no.
I was going to say, he's approaching that 1,000,000 miles an hour, gentlemen, in the Arrow, and McLaren couldn't quite get it stopped in time there, and that's definitely cost a penalty, I imagine. That's
a penalty and a, you know what, I think I'm done type of move.
But getting back to, we see a handful of cars here on pit road. We've talked about and noticed when drivers have been coming down pit road that overwhelming majority of them have had to lock the back brakes up to slow down so they don't exceed pit road speed. Is that something, just because it's a new track, or is that something the way the track is designed, or is that something you can comment on?
I'm not sure if that was for me at all there, gentlemen. Hello, welcome. Or somebody else.
I think that was for you.
No, that was for you. Can you comment on the amount of cars, the amount of drivers that had to lock their brakes up when they hit the pit road so they don't exceed the pit road speed?
Well, that's the one thing that's always difficult in any motor racing, really, in oval tracks, isn't it? It's about to break your judging point there, because you want to get in there and stop that car as quickly as possible. Of course, it's also a big shaving 1 or 2 tenths, isn't it? If you get there, you can make it stick. You can do that perfect pit stop there. Go out there and see your lollipop people. You won't see that in the broadcast aspect is what we do, but there will be your pit crew out there with their lollipop there, telling them which gate basically to park that car. And then you want a perfect in and out. Of course, if you get it all pole shaped wrong as well too, that means you have to back up a little bit, wrong angles, cost you a few tenths in time in pit stops, which is crucial, as you all know, in a motor racing at this level of sports. But yeah, got to slow it down first, right? And drivers don't necessarily practice that. You got to remember that, don't they? They go out there, they lead their pit road, they do laps, they park it to the side there, return it back to pit road, and then do it all over again. But how many of those drivers actually practice returning back to pit road, hitting braking at the right point there, slowing the car down enough, is going to be the biggest difference you're going to see throughout the season of drivers that unless you do that practice or not.
What I want to add, in addition to what you mentioned, is, never mind, big crash. I don't know who that is. I'm going to take a look. Looks like that's Chad Frankenfield.
Wow, one of the leaders that we thought was going to be up there at the end of this race has spun out, and I know Carlos is burning the midnight oil over there on his end as we have our third caution of the day. Carlos, do we have a replay? Here it is to see exactly what happened to Chad Frankenfield.
He's got it, my friend. You don't have to ask him. Have a look at this one on the outside. There's a
netcode.
Contact. Yeah, it could have been.
Another driver involved too.
Like that. Oh, it's just he parking on the inside apron there, thankfully, and everybody's going to go zooming on by.
Let me change the angle for you guys so we can get a better look here.
It could be. It's very much netcode. Looks like both the drivers are actually pointing forward here. I don't see any crazy moment of the steering wheel there. Comes up the inside. Side draft might pull each other in. There's an inside car on the apron there. Shouldn't affect them at all as they're both coming out of pit road. And there it is. So they're about, give or take, gentlemen, about a foot apart. No, yeah. No, he's lost it on his own. I don't even believe there was anything to do with contact there. He's just lost it.
Who was that other vehicle? It's a darker blue machine. Can't quite see who that is. It may be Hunter Smith that may have been involved in that incident. Yep, that's him. Oh no, that vehicle, unfortunately, that might be terminal damage.
Huh. How do you manage to draw that? That's fantastic. I mean, then I noticed the fact that that wheel's about to fall off the carcass. That's lovely.
Plugins, my
this
friend.
Is something you're going to get here, isn't it? The Elite Motor Racing Series. Good job. I've never seen that before in my life, but go on with that one, my friend.
But getting back to Chad Frankenfield for a minute, he has had, if you want to say there has been a dominant car all day, I think he would be the one. And I'm surprised that wheel is staying on, but he would be the one I think that you would label as being dominant. He's had a stayability to the front all day as we're riding on board here.
There it goes. Bang!
Right there.
Oh, he gets tagged.
Hunter Smith had nowhere to go. What's he supposed to do? He had nowhere to go.
Jump.
But yeah,
check
got a feel for. You got a feel for Frankenfield, as you know, he has been up front all day, and for his day to end at short of 60 laps has to be frustrating, and he is the points that he's going to lose. He's going to have it's going to be a long year for him, I think, he's going to have to dig himself out of this early hole.
I'm at the moment. I'm digging yourself into. I've just hit the like button as well too for the 2024 Open Wheel Series race here for the Apex, gentlemen. So make sure you hit that like, everybody, and subscribe, please. It's a fantastic racing network.
You don't have to say open wheel anymore.
We can get 1K. We need 1K.
Oh yeah, we're close. We're close, but hey, listen, Dean, you don't have to say open wheel. We can say IndyCar. I don't have to censor it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I forgot about all that, didn't I? Because I just wanted to make sure I didn't get in trouble and lose my bloody iRacing account. For that, because I do miss it. We're back, of course. What a stacked grid! What a stacked grid! And we have, give or take, 50 or about 50 or so laps to go here. I'm looking forward to it. Look at that, Craig. Some big players here at the moment. There's Nick, the 89 machine there, Factory Backs Esports there. Jason for the private label team Hype. Yep. Let me just have a little a phone there. I'll call Lee Diffie up there and go, Lee, IndyCar's back. Lee's gonna be like, no, too excited at the moment. Too excited.
One of the parties that were probably thrown once that was announced is well too high, I would assume. I know for sure officials here at Elite were counting the days till we could finally show IndyCar. Initially, I was asked to cover this race because hi, I'm Carlos. I'm a producer for 3YTV. I don't normally cover Elite action, which is why you can tell that it's a little different than normal. We got telestrators here because that's what I usually use on my end.
Oh, Carlos, you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I do actually want to apologize, first of all. In the beginning, we did have some connection issues and dropped frames. That got taken care of. I'm glad I was able to figure that out. So I do apologize. In the very beginning of the stream was very choppy. But all right, one to go. I know it says green flag, but we are one to go. The drivers are going to be going 90 miles an hour. until we get to the restart zone next time by, and then we're going back for our third restart of the night. Where was I heading? Oh yeah, I was pitched that I was going to be doing a radio style broadcast. No big deal. Just just make sure that there's nothing wrong with the audio and you're good to go. And then a couple days after I agreed to it, I get hit with the news that IndyCar is back in iRacing, and then I come to the realization of, oh no, I'm covering the first race back with IndyCar for Elite.
And you're doing a fantastic job, my friend. It's always stressful, isn't it? As well as for the drivers too, to push all the buttons behind the scene. I don't know if anybody else realizes that, but when you have a fully stacked grid like this, and you have a lot of camera angles, a lot of action, there's race control messages coming up too for now. That's on his screen at the moment. He's probably got about 3 or 4 monitors just alone to keep up the action. So we're hoping everybody's keeping themselves very, very entertained here, and why not push to pass, getting it done here for the Auto Club 500. Drivers now are going to be going to green, 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 and we are going green. We have, give or take, just shy of 60 laps to go, John.
Yes, we do. 60 laps to go, and I think it's it's safe to say that I think we're going to start seeing the cream rise to the top as we see Nick DeGroot in the number 89 machine take his paces towards the front. But as we say that, Sudik takes his pace to the front. We see race control on lap 189. It was no tally for that racing incident that took out Chad Frankenfield due to net code, just as we thought. So, like I said, heartbreak for Chad Frankenfield, but the racing does go on. Is Sudik in the number 22 machine out in front on lap.
Gentlemen, they're going through breast paps. Here we go.
It seems like that. It's Biggles. It seems like that's what the racing has been like. All day you get one car to the front, and as soon as you get to talk about that car, someone else overtakes him, just like we're going to see right here.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it, gentlemen. I hope everybody out there in the chat is loving it. The cream is rising, as Random Max says out there, because we're going to approach that 2 hour forward press on the outside apron as well, too. Somebody's trying to get completely out of the way. Bingo, the 22 machines in the lead of this one, currently at the moment from the 99, but they're all going for it too for now, gentlemen. This is what we love. This is what we missed. And it's back. It's IndyCar with a Vengeance 2024.
Absolutely. Don't mind seeing 3 wide. Don't mind seeing 4 wide. But somebody is going to run out of patience here as the laps slowly tick off. And I hope if that car does run out of patience, he doesn't take out any of the other top cars there. As we're starting to see, like you said, cars go 3 wide, 4 wide right there. Everyone's got to be smart on the wheel, on the brake, on the gas, but have a little patience too coming down the backstretch.
Yeah, try to tell that to a racing driver to have patience, of course, because that's one thing the racing drivers generally do not have. But loving it. The top 2 going for it too for now on the go-kart recard zone, and to start another one in the back there. A couple of drivers in the high line there got through abreast. But who is bold and brave, taking the outside of the apron? Currently at the moment, 22 machine leading on the inside, sticking to the apron there. Tucking in behind there is the 88. And then further back, of course, you've got the 99 and the 89. These are all the 8s and 9s are all here at the moment, stacking the grid. Top 4.
Yes, they are. Have you noticed how strong some of these cars are when they get down to the apron, especially when they want to overtake the lead? They just dive their car down to the apron there. It sticks like glue, and they're able to make the pass so easily.
That's one for you, Carlos, my friend. I'm not a racing driver, but if it glues, it sticks. It works. But look at this. It's building up to something at the moment there. Pictures are live on the camera. Look at those liveries as well, too. You can't miss half these machines. Go ahead, Carlos.
No, I was just going to say, I'm being bombarded with a couple messages. We may be able to bring up one driver who was involved from the Infield Care Center, as we're still going here with about 51 laps remaining here in this race. I want to go ahead and take a quick moment and bring up here, I'm catching up with Kevin Hayes, the number 00, who was involved in lap 179 incident, excuse me, was it 179? Here in the Infield Care Center, the crash on lap 175. Kevin, how are you doing, man?
Good. I'm pissed off, but good.
Oh, Kevin, we got... What's your language, man?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're okay. What happened, mate? What happened?
But why don't you go ahead and quickly take us down to what happened with you in your incident?
Yeah, so I had I was a lap down at one point. Came all the way back. Was working through the field with another guy, and we were both going to pit lane. Coming out of 4, I guess behind us, a couple guys didn't know how to stay in a straight line and killed themselves. And as I was just braking to get into pit lane, the guy came in behind me and collected me. Tried to get the car repaired, and it was able to get back out. And then it was still driving funny, and I almost killed it on its own. And decided just to park it and back out and not end anyone else's day early. I think it was the wreck with Justin Fuller, and I forgot the other one who was involved. I tried to rewatch it a couple times, but it's annoying to see the wreck that happened, and then there was no caution after that either. So just kind of let the race go, and is what it is at this point, I guess.
Yeah, but Kevin, you got more races to go, of course, in the season, so it's what
I know.
it is.
I know. It's my first race in this league too. So I'm a rookie, and I had taken it from 38th to 8th. So I think that's why I'm upset.
Hey, I'll take that one in day of the week, my friend.
That's
a
game. I know, but it's frustrating to not finish.
Kevin, you just talked about being a rookie here on this level. Tell the people, or explain to the people what it's like driving at this track, particularly where you have so much space and so many lanes to choose from.
You know, it feels like there's a lot of space when you're watching it, and then you get in the car, and it gets a lot narrower on corner exit. This was actually one of the first tracks I ever drove the IndyCar in. So it's fun because, I mean, I'm watching the guys right now, you see they're 4 wide through a corner, and there's room if you give respect to everyone and you respect the corner and you respect the arrow push. That's kind of the big thing. If you're behind anyone, you're going to understeer up the track, and that's why on corner exit it tends to feel like it gets narrow. The track doesn't change. It's just the racing line kind of narrows up.
And the draft, does it suck you in a little bit when you get up to the fence there or near the cars there? They'll bring you in closer. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, the draft is powerful here, and if you get the right exit of a corner, I mean, you see the guys swapping up front all the time. That's how we got back up to the field. I think we were at 1.5 seconds down in a split pack, and me and I forget his name now, Jared something. Him and I worked together to claw back about 5.5 seconds over 60 laps it took us, which was good. That's good fun. I love working with someone else in a race like this. So that was quite enjoyable.
I think you're right about that one, isn't it, mate? You got to be working with other people because you need that little. If you can climb a car in 5 seconds, work it with somebody else, not even necessarily your teammate. That's how you get it done. And that's how you get it done in oval racing. Anyway, predictions at the moment there for the win, my friend, because you got this 2 battling 27 and 88, and got the 83 and the 99.
Yeah, it's tough. I race with AJ, Brophy, and Sudical. I see them all the time in official public lobbies, and they're all quick dudes. I'll put my money on Jason. How about that? Jason Brophy.
Book it in, gentlemen. Book it in.
I'll lock that one in.
All right.
Kevin, we've seen throughout the race a lot of drivers, when they come down pit road, they have locked the back brakes up. Did you notice that being an issue too? Is it just where the entry to pit road comes up on you quicker than you anticipate, or what do you think's been the issue all night for that?
So it's partially because you're still turning left as you start to as you have to get really on the brakes for pit road, because you're coming out of 4 still doing 210. So you're trying to tell the guys and let everyone know that you're going to be slowing down. I did it once during practice, and before I started the race, I just moved my brake bias way forward. So if I was going to lock anything, it was going to be the fronts and not the rears. I'd rather lock the fronts and risk getting a time penalty than spinning the car and killing my day in the pit wall. So I think it's a combination of just it's you don't realize how fast you're going because this track is so wide and so big, and that first yellow cone is so close to the corner exit on 4. I think it just sneaks up on you a little bit, especially when you're in a pack and you're trying to keep yours.
Victor Del Porto involved from Beneporto Pro Racing.
Yeah, we'll have to cut you off on that, Kevin.
All good. He looks okay. It looks like he saved it.
Yeah, hopefully.
I'll be the judge of that.
Of course, coming. Carlos is going to show the set replay. What happened there, Carlos?
I don't know. He appears to be by himself, and he clipped the apron that's gone around. And well, listen, there was some
Stays on the
controversy.
inside?
Yeah, he stays on the inside. Do you define that as a save, or did he fully spin out?
That's one for you, Kevin, as race driver, mate.
I think if you keep it out the wall, you count that as a save. If you're still going after you caused the yellow, I'm calling that as just some brown pants that matches brown vehicle, it looks like.
I don't think that should actually be caused as yellow because it didn't actually cause any damage to anybody else there.
Well,
but iRacing probably deemed that one.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, this causes a yellow, but a 4-car pileup going into the pit lane doesn't.
Yeah,
Which
is very
so
strange. iRacing,
it is what
pay
it is.
attention. iRacing, pay attention, please.
It is what it is. I ain't complaining. None of us are professionals. But yeah, I'll count that as safe. He kept it out of the wall.
Do they box right now, my friend? Like, I mean, you got basically give or take about 30 something laps to go.
42 laps remaining.
Yeah, they're jumping to pit road.
Yeah, I was gonna say 42. You can make it. The longest stint I did was 41, and I still had about 0.6 of a gallon left, which I was using about half a gallon, 0.4 of a gallon a lap, depending on my fuel mix. So they can make it from here if they do box now. It looks like most of the leaders came down. I'm sure some people in the back are trying to pick up some extra spots. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think you got it right, don't you? You have to.
I would have. I'm telling you, I would have pit here because I mean you don't. Oh, wreck in the back.
Well, that's what you mentioned there, gentlemen. At the back there, everybody coming into pit road right at the end there, and that's not going to be pretty good for some of those drivers at the moment. They're going to lose a ton of time.
Looks like Mark Murphy from Little Eagle Racing, in what may be either locking up into pit road. We've seen this happen already once, but Mark Rabiles stayed out. Jason Brophy won the battle off of pit road.
If you can get a replay there, it looks like two of them collided on pit road.
So, Derek, what do you think about that one, staying out for the 96 machine?
You know, I know you're probably trying to, you know, go off everyone else's strategy, and I think it's a bold move. If it pays off for you, it's kind of like, you know, high risk, high reward. If it pays off for you, it could put you in contention for the race. But if it doesn't pay off for you, think about how many spots that you're going. Wow. Think about how many spots you're going to drop. Dang. Look at that.
How do you smash it? You can't smash into another car on pit road, but have a look at this replay.
Well, you could when you're in that side of pit road. Slow it down.
Right.
Well, actually, let's speed it up first. Comes down, there's a driver there, doesn't see the other driver. No!
Yeah. That's why some drivers like to take the inside apron there, because it become like a
you're not supposed to.
But that's not
per
good.
rules.
All right.
Yeah, per rules. When you go down pit road, you have to stay on the right side. But I have a feeling the car he crashed into was exiting pit road, because you got a lot of these drivers. A lot of these drivers are separated, so you got drivers in the front going down pit road. That you know, by the time they're exiting, we still have drivers in the back that have yet to get to the pit stop, and unfortunately, we saw that happening.
And we can't see they're lollipop people, of course, in the broadcast aspect, but lollipop people are there, and of course, it's very difficult to actually see your crew because if there's cars parked in front of it. But that's not good at all for some of those drivers. So, and once again, I come back to the situation of. And over to you, Kevin, as a race driver. How can you actually even practice pit stop situations for 20 or 30 cars boxing at the same time? Where you're doing just basically practice lobbies.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, luckily before this race we had 45, 50 guys in the practice session. So pit lane, and they're constantly coming in, leaving. So pit lane was a bit hectic during the practice session. So you got to do a little bit of practice there if you actually did that. I like to do that just because I'm very, very good at missing my pit box, as I did earlier in this race, actually at one point. So that's really the only way to do it, is just to hopefully get into a situation where it is a bit hectic and hit your mark and hope you don't hit anyone else. I mean, that's tough to avoid there too, because I don't think was it Mark who spun out there, who got hit? You know, when you're pulling into your box and it's that position too, and the guy's on your left rear that you can't see him, and your spotter's not making calls when you're on pit road really, so you have no idea that guy's there. To me, if you're the driver behind and you see someone in the but I mean, he's off to the right too. It's so hard to see out of these cars. It's just kind of an unfortunate situation that occurred.
Guys, I want to specify we are going green flag this time by pit road speed. Pace speed has sped up to 90 miles an hour. Mark Rabiles stayed out. He last went down pit road on lap 189, so he doesn't have too much significant tire wear. He might be in prime position.
Kevin, last words, my friend? Or
no, I'm just excited to watch the end of this race. I appreciate you guys doing this and running the great broadcasts. Very happy that broadcasts are back.
So there you have it there, gentlemen.
Green flag's back out.
Yep, there we go. He's got a good lead at the moment too. 1.7 second change there, but the battle for P2 is actually brewing up at the moment there. Are we green? We are green. Barney's wave the flag.
Mark having no issues holding on to that lead. Of course, his tires really aren't that farther away. He was in prime position when the caution came out. He was either able to get his lap back or never went down a lap at all, and is currently still holding on to that lead. And it's actually what I would say probably the largest lead via a restart I've seen this whole race, with 37 laps to go. On you, Mark, in the covered bridge racing IndyCar team right now. However, Jason Brophy looking to his outside. He does have the help from Nicholas Sudik and AJ Musselman going down right behind them. But side by side with a third car, Nicholas Sudik all the way up in the outside wall. It's actually, excuse me, hold on, something is wrong. Do we have lap down vehicles that are in front?
Derek, do you have any information for us on that one, my friend? Because this is getting spicy and dicey. I'm seeing 4 or 5 cars abreast there, Derek.
Sorry, I had to let the dog out, but yeah, we're at lap 215. Going to be interesting to see is Reblis.
Oh, they're wrecking!
Stayed out.
There's contact.
We have another wreck. Oh, here we go.
That's going to be a massive pile-up. Bingo! That's definitely a caution. Caution on the speedway.
Exactly what I was talking about. That patience thing is going to come back and bite somebody, and that's exactly what happened here.
You took the dog out a little bit. Well, you got the dog back in time there, my friend. Look at that. What happened?
The wing is not supposed to look like that. I gotta say that is generating lift.
Yep. That's to go down the pit road, my friend. Look at that front here. Right arm. Somebody hanging on there at the moment there with. Well, Brody should take the lead in this one.
I'll get the replay. I'll get the replay here in a second. But I think I'm not getting to my senses because it's been a long time since I've had to deal with single file restarts. What happened was because Mark did stay out, a lot of the drivers that would have taken a wave around did not, and I believe because of the rules of single file restarts, specifically single file restarts, they got to keep their spot. So that's what we saw, a big difference between first and second, and then like multiple seconds in between third and fourth.
Look at the replay at the moment. We have 4 or 5 cars abreast here at the moment. That's exactly right. There's some lap traffic in play. And Bingo comes on the inside there. There's a tag, and then Bingo after that, my friend. It's pinball at this point.
Huge incident. Let's see if we can get a different angle from that. We might be able to get a good angle from the turn 3 entry. Take a look. Here they're over there.
There's 5 cars abreast. Look at this. There's 5 cars. I think some of the cars are trying to get out of the way. One turns in on the outside wall there and collects the rest of them. That's the blue and white machine. You can see tagging the fence on the outside there, and these two are tangling at this point. Everybody else is a passenger. That'll be like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars at least involved in that. Thankfully, it's the world of virtual esports and not going to cost you about $300,000 in damage.
Huge damage for a lot of these drivers. I think a lot of them were either multiple laps down or within prime position of battling for the lead. We'll figure out who was involved in what. But we're going to take a quick commercial break as we go ahead and show our video sponsor some extra love.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel.
All right, welcome back. Looks like we're going to be 2 to go at the moment. Next lap, we're going to be speeding up to 90 miles an hour and then restarting. I want to thank Warriors for Peace for sponsoring this series, the 2024 Warriors for Peace Indycar Series. Warriors for Peace is the foundation promoting peaceful change in the world to honor the beautiful life of Jack Shockley. Check out warriorsforpeace.org for more information. That is warriors, the number 4, peace.org.
Good stuff, good racing as we come back here. Just a handful of laps left to go. The big crash that we were hoping that we would avoid in today's race, unfortunately, has reared its ugly head as the pace car is breaking off, and we're going to get back under green. It makes me wonder with how many cars were involved in this latest caution as we get back to green. Who is that going to open the door for that we haven't talked about or seen towards the front today?
I'm not sure, but I looked at race control right now, and it looks like they are awarding a tally to 3 vehicles or the number 3 car. I'm actually not sure what it means, but I'm just going to go ahead and post that message.
3 cars lap 217 accident. Interesting to be. Well, want to be decided
Biggles
after,
oh wait,
by the way-
you're Biggles. That's right. Yeah, Biggles in the YouTube chat asking who will win this race.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm not sure, but all I know is that I've seen a lot of these drivers who were up at the front are now no longer at the front. I'm gonna take a blind guess, and I'm gonna say Tyler Fody's gonna sneak out a win here.
Oh, interesting. It's possible. Gentlemen and ladies out there tuning in, thank you very much for tuning in, of course. It's all getting excited at the moment. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're 15. Get to 1K mark. I'm sure we will, because the IndyCar Series is kicking off. Already the 88 machine leading this one from the 77, and then Stanley in the 91. We're going to be going green. We are growing green. Here we go. The green machine leading this pack. 220 and 30 to go.
Jason Brophy out leading the front. However, there are quite a handful of drivers who are a lap down or further up behind them. Joseph Morales in second place is actually 2 seconds behind. Let's go on his gyro cam and see just what he's looking at on the field. You see all those drivers over there. Hold on, let me clear that up for you. All those, let me do it again. There we go. All those drivers right there in front of him. Big separation as he has to get past a couple lap down vehicles to get to this slightly somewhat clean air position. But in the front, Brophy leading, and if there's no caution, he's looking pretty good, honestly.
But you talked about how many cars are in front of Morales. How many of those lap cars that are lapped down, are going to play a role? And who decides this? Are they going to get out of the way as these laps slowly tick off? If Morales, or excuse me, if Stanley or Morales for that matter, does get a run on Brophy, are these lap cars going to get out of the way and let them race, or are they going to hold up these lead cars?
Looks like they're racing for sure.
Yeah, Stanley's electing on that one at the moment. They can see Brody on the inside. There's Stanley. We're running on board at the moment there with Jess. A little bit further back, but look at that. The Green Machine leading this race. With the Green Machine's in a big trouble. Stanley might take him on the outside, gentlemen. Here we go. 223, 250.
We're on board second place driver Ethan Stanley right now as he's looking to take it 3 wide here, exiting turns 1 and 2. Not going to happen. Doesn't have the momentum. Well, actually, maybe he does, but right there, quarter of a second behind your race leader. You can see that green machine, lean green machine right there in front, as that's who he is trying to get past.
Derek, what can you do, Derek? What can you do?
I would say, you still have a handful of laps left. If you're Stanley, or if you're Owens, if you're Forsythe, if you're Morales 2 through 5, you gotta figure out what the right time is going to be to go. You gotta be patient until you figure out what's the right time to go. Is it lap 248? Is it lap 247? I don't know. It's whatever the driver's preference is, but I think you need to, show a little patience. And if Brody's going to make a mistake, then you pounce. If not, just be content on where you're at, ride it out, and then when you get to that, lap 246, 247, you got to decide when it's time to make your move.
Stanley's going to decide to take a move soon at the moment there. Can he get a little bit of help with the 99 machine on the outside? We got 4, 5, 6 abreast on the background there. Cars, lap, and even in there one. Brody, there it is! On the inside, Stanley's going to make a challenge there. The 99 machine's going to give him a little bit of a push there. So here it is, 1, 2, 3, separated by milliseconds. Further back, you got Owens and 22 machine. Gentlemen, this ain't over yet. 25 to go.
8 over. By the way, I want to specify, it was the 3 car who got the tally, not 3 separate cars that got a tally. In addition, the 3 car did also get a tally for accidentally taking a fast repair. So he's been, he didn't get a tally. He got DQ'd for accidentally taking a fast repair.
As we see Brody out in front, but you have 2 hard charging cars behind him, Stanley and Forsythe, and you got other cars 3 wide coming across the line that want to get into the mix. Owens, Sora, Saduk, and Fody right there as well. So what an exciting race. We have 24 laps to go. Yep, 4 wide. Oh, we got a little.
Woo, gentlemen.
He saved it. He saved it. Great driving there. But again, I talked about got to be patient, and that's a fine example of why you need to be patient right there. But he saved it. We're still green. 24 to go. What an exciting pack. You have 9 cars within 1 second of the leader.
Anybody can win this one at the moment. Stanley's got to try to put a bit of pressure on the green machine there, the 88. Up in the middle lane to get a bit of a push from the outside there. A few drivers going venture up to the fence. Here we go, 23 to go. This is going to be fun, and it's going to be adventurous. And who can see who could be the boldest and bravest here at the moment for the Elite Network. This is fantastic, gentlemen. Make sure you hit like and subscribe because it's just getting started.
Yeah, it absolutely is. This is, race 1 of the 2024 season. And if this is any preview of the season, that we're in for one heck of a ride. 22 laps to go. You see how wide, 3 wide, could be potentially 4 wide for the race lead as you see cars fanning out, using every inch of the racetrack they can. Forsythe trying to protect the lead. Brody's going to try to protect the lead now as we go into the turn.
Carlos is wondering where to put those buttons right now, my friend. A fantastic producer in the background. Trying to keep 4 abreast on the outside. It's not just double file, it's triple file. Wow. Brody still holding on there. Brophy in the green machine there. Under massive pressure from the 99 machine. On the outside there, Stanley's going to make it 3. You know what? The 19 is going to make it 4 abreast. 21 to go.
Again, what I talked about earlier, patience is going to have to be key here, because if one car steps out of line and is impatient, look how many cars could potentially be taken out, as we could see 5 wide. Would you believe that? 3 wide for the lead. but there are 3 other cars that are looming in the background, just waiting to pounce.
My ex-girlfriend would said 5 wide. It's very possible, but at the moment, but 20 to go. Look at this. 3 at the front, all battling for position on the outside. Look at that. 40 now. Dictates the red machine. You know, red goes faster, right? All right, we'll see how this is going to pan out at the moment. He has to tuck in behind the Geico Ricart zone there. We're going to start on the lap at 19 to go, gentlemen. 19 to go for the first race this season. You better not look away. Get your popcorn and put your seats in the upright position. This is coming down
I think it's too late to get your popcorn. I think you should have had your popcorn a while ago.
Yeah, Carlos, I think you're absolutely right. 19 to go. I'm not sure. You know what? Looking around at the pack of cars, 1 through 9, I'm not sure who who has the advantage here. I can't say it's Brody, because Brody has to fight off 8 other competitors. So I'm not sure right now. As you see him fan out there 3 wide going into the turn, you know, who do I want to be at this point? Do I want to be Fody? Do I want to be, even DeGroot back in 6, Stanley in 7, Lighty in 8, or Mello in 9? Which one do I want to be at this point?
Let's go on board with Tate Lytle here for 1 sec. Excuse me, and see just what he's doing. Stay with him for a lap as we see, what could be something that he could do to maybe get himself in a better position. Because right now, I do not want to be the race leader going into this last lap. I want to be somewhere in like maybe 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, because that's where the run is going to be coming from, the last lap. All these drivers, they've had so many laps to figure out the actual momentum, how long it takes for you to get a run, how long the run lasts, and how long until people start actually getting past you. So a lot of these drivers have got this down to a science, and the question is, who's going to be able to execute it to the perfect T.
17 to go, gentlemen. 17 to go at the moment. Jason's still leading this one there from Craig. The Master from Canada, 6 positions gained there. Tyler in P3 for the 40 machine. Thinking about another place there. Nick in the background there. But don't take it away from Presley, the 19 machine. He's gained 24 positions. Smelling victory here. And this is going to be fantastic, gentlemen. We're down to the dying stages.
Big wreck!
16 to go. Big wreck in the background.
And that's going to bring out the 6th caution of today's race. It looks like it might have been 2 cars that were collected in this race. You see the right front there circled there on screen as Tyler Fody takes over the lead. But let's look at the replay here and see what happened.
That was weird. Net code, but then maybe there could have been contact. I'm not sure. We'll take a different angle as well.
Yeah, let's definitely take a different angle here to see this. Here's another view of this, and let's see what exactly happened.
It's going to be Joseph, I think. Is it Joseph?
I don't know.
The contact there.
Regardless, significant damage to both these drivers.
Joseph. Oh, that's a reason. I don't understand why he would be turning into that.
Let's see what the gyrocam says. On board here with Joseph Morales.
Yeah, that he was sticking to his racing line. I don't know why, and unless it slid there, that's got to be netcode. That has to be netcode. Anyway, we have drivers going to pit road, so a few of them have elected to go in there from P7 downwards. So Nicholas gone in, Justin's gone in, Victor's gone in.
What do you think their strategy? What do you think their strategy is here? What do you?
Yeah, I have a feeling that that their strategy is to maybe get some fuel, get some tires, because we at the moment, let's take a look at the moment, we have only 13 drivers on the lead lap. If you're like 7th, 8th, 9th, and you can get tires, go for it. You're only gonna lose a couple spots. That's not gonna matter at a track like this. What's really significant is we're gonna have a couple more drivers getting back on the lead lap because of the waiver rounds. If we do get a waiver round, so I'm not quite sure. I think because Jason stayed out We may not be getting all the way around. We'll take a look here. We'll figure it all out. But
can we get a driver in for a quick?
Yeah, you know what? Let's get a driver out there. Do you guys have any picks? Anybody you guys want to speak to? You see off right off the bat?
What about Jason, our race leader, if he wants to?
Sure, I don't think he's on the actual server. We have a pick of Scott Crump, Ethan Burrell, Ethan Stanley, Tate Lido, Tyler Fody, Isabella, Patrick Stein. What's up?
Let's go. Let's go. Fody. He's in third.
All right, he's in third. All right, I'll bring him up, guys. Don't worry about that. The waiting
Tyler
room.
Fody at the moment.
Tyler Fody. Here we go. You guys go for it.
Machine. Go ahead,
Tyler. This is the booth. You're sitting third. 13 laps to go. Not to give away your strategy, but how patient are you? How much are you waiting for Brody to make a mistake and pounce?
Well, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, but trying to play it by ear here. It's not much you can plan for when we're 4x4 all through the field, but it definitely looks like you want to be the lead car on that bottom line. It's super hard to pass, so if anything's going to happen, I think you're going to see it. It's going to have to happen in these first couple laps before we get all packed up, but we're going to give it everything here.
Yeah, Telefody, yeah, go ahead, please.
Oh, just how much are you worried about the cars behind you, 6, 7, 8, 9, that just went into the pits, gas and fresh tires with 13 to go?
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. I was kind of torn between coming in or not, but I think that bottom is just so strong if you can get to the lead that I was third here, so it was worth staying and trying to take a shot. So we'll see.
Tyler, you worried about the drivers a little bit back further from you there? I think you're back to Nicholas in P7 at the moment. It's going to have some fresher boots on you, but everybody from P1 to P6, and you're currently in P3, you're on the same boots. Any problems to bring it to the honey?
You cut out there a little bit, but we don't got any problems right now. We might in a few laps here, though, with how these guys are racing. So we'll see.
Wrap it up.
All right, Tyler, we'll let you go. 12 laps to go. Give it all you got.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And that was Tyler Fody. I think the gist of that was, he's going to, go to the dance with what brought him here. But obviously, he's got to keep an eye on that rear view mirror because, like Biggles pointed out, there are cars behind him that have fresher tires, and it's just going to be a matter of laps before those tires are warm and they get all the traction that they need, and they may make their move.
I worry about Jason at the moment. Gentlemen, get him in the green machine at the moment there, the 88 machine. He's going to have a good race start if he can get that launched. He's going to be up the road there. But you're not going to be able to catch that driver if he gets a good start there, the 88 machine. There'll be 2 laps at best at Craig if you try to bring it to him. All right? We're getting down down stages, of course, this race. There'll be about 10 to go. Soon and change. So, if anything, Jason can run away with this one. What do you if you were to like of Craig, of course, the man from Canada, the 99 machine, running in P2. We heard from Tyler. He's in P3. Presley and Nick DeGroot and so Ethan Stanley all getting great places in this race. What do you reckon, gentlemen, as race drivers, and anybody in the chat, of course, give us some of your information, because can anybody hold back Jason to win this race?
We're about to find out here. As you see, we're back to green with 11 to go. Brody's going to have his hands full as Forsyth going to go to the high side, and he is going to take over the lead with 10 to go. But Fody's going to have something to say about it as we go 3 wide into the turn. Brody back in the lead. Who knows how long that's going to be, because he's got Forsyth and Fody to the top side.
That inside line has a huge advantage towards the entry and middle parts of the corners. We see even with very little help, Jason Brody is able to get kind of that lead back going into the corner. It's on the exit of the corner where all the momentum and all the extra help is at, where he's starting to lose that lead. But I kind of like what I'm seeing out of Jason. Of course, a lot of these drivers could be kind of doing a little calm before the actual storm, being inside the eye of the hurricane, making sure that they're actually managed to get to the last lap before a caution comes out. But you know, I kind of expected a bit more chaos than what we have now. Of course, we are only down to 10 drivers on the lead lap. First driver, 1 lap down, is Jess Story, who's actually coincidentally driving for my team. So, but 10 drivers left remaining that either have not had issues or had like very small issues that they were able to still be on the lead lap. But 8 laps to go here. What you're seeing is who you might be. Who you're seeing is who you might. See, I don't know where I'm going. One of you guys take over.
As we see here, is
3
wide. Ooh, that was close. 3 wide, Fody to the top side. Forsyth in the middle.
To the bottom at the moment there. He's not going to allow anybody there. He's holding the bottom line there in the go restart zone, starting on a lap at the moment there. He's holding it, but on the outside there is Craig and Tyler. And for Bruce, Stephen, we got Ethan in there. But I'll tell you what, you need to be on the inside apron there. The green machine, the 88's holding place at the moment and starting on a lap.
Yeah, I think Fody hit it right. You need to be on the inside as he's trying to get a run on the outside. He just can't get somebody to hook in with him and go nose to tail. Impressive by Brody, like you said. Biggles holding that bottom line down with 7 to go.
Got a caution.
Oh, yeah, we do. Oh, no.
Yeah, big smash at the back, I believe, there, involving Kerry and so forth.
Yeah,
but
Corey
nothing
Johnson.
you see in your pictures. Yeah.
He is
Oh,
still.
look at that one.
He is still upside down, Corey Johnson.
Oh, dear.
Now, how much does pit road come into play now?
You don't go pit road.
Yeah, not much.
I don't think it could. See?
What happened?
Replay, everybody out there. This is the back of the field too, remember. We're talking about like the last places on this one.
What?
And there's a tango.
Was Corey Johnson? Was I looking at the wrong driver? I may have been looking at the wrong driver, guys.
No, it was Corey Johnson. Yep.
Yeah, I'm on Corey Johnson.
That's what I was showing in race control.
Oh!
Pit road.
Oh, I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I was looking at the previous incident. That is on me. This is what happened.
Hey, you're right, my friend. So good. Let's have a look.
Oh!
Yeah, big impact. Oh, yeah. That's at the back of the field, too. You only took about 2 or 3 drivers out on that one. But that was Corey Johnson, as you mentioned, going a little bit airborne. In fact, upside down at the moment. Thank God for the safety, the virtual racing, iRacing cars. So
Contact with
spoil his surprise.
Comes in front of, I believe that's Jess Story. And I apologize, it's difficult for me to see. My eyesight isn't as good as it used to be.
You're right, mate. Yep. Little tag in the fence. Takes about 2-3 drivers at best out. That one, yeah, he goes, oof. And that is what you call a motor race, as Mike would say back in the day of Formula 1. Anyway, leading, Jason, again. So it just shaves off more laps that he needs to complete in order to win this race.
Yeah, it absolutely does. This is our 7th caution of the race. 5 to go. You know, I think we learned now the key for Brody to drive this home. He has to get that car down to the bottom of the racetrack. His car is dialed in when it's at the bottom of the racetrack. It is at its strongest when he is at the bottom of the racetrack. So I think that is going to be his number one goal, number one priority on the launch here, is to get that car down to the bottom of the racetrack and hold all of the other competitors off.
At the moment, if we can get actually Craig for the 99 machine in P2 to get in for a bit of a chin wagon to see what he can do about it, because space car lights are still on. He's the only one.
I have no idea what that means.
Oh, sorry. Chin wagon means a little bit of a chat to us at the moment. The Craig the 99 machine there running 2 up 6 positions.
Question.
One that can challenge.
That would be great. unfortunately, I don't think he's on the Discord at the moment. So to all
That's
drivers,
fine.
for all of the elite broadcasts, either if you're tuning in now or if you're watching the replay, start getting on the Discord so they can pull you up for mid-race interviews under caution conditions. Come on, guys.
It should be a negotiated contract, isn't it? I mean, I can get Max Verstappen at the moment if I'm interviewing drivers in Formula One. Come on, gentlemen, get in there. All right.
Ooh, guys, I don't know. That inside line is very strong. We've lost a significant amount of drivers.
Jason's covering it big time as well, too, my friend.
He's doing,
yeah.
This is it's looking really good. It's looking really good for Jason. The question is, can he keep it up? And another question is, are these drivers going to start figuring out? Because if nothing is done, then this is Jason's race to lose. Excuse me, I should say. But if drivers start figuring out, then they can change the way they approach the corners to be able to kind of kill off that run. For the time being, he's looking pretty good.
Yeah, Derek, what do you think he's gonna? Craig has to make a run here. He has to try to match him on the pace. He's got to go on the inside there, and he has to basically wheel to wheel him. Go. Restart zone there, still green.
Yeah, now we're going to start speeding up to 90.
Yeah, you got to go and don't let him run away. If you let him run away this late, 3 laps to go, it's not enough time. Jason's proved himself to be too strong. Look out for Tola in the background. I wouldn't be surprised if Tola doesn't stick his nose in there. The man's gained 10 positions in this race for the P40 machine. It's up to Craig, I think. Craig has to go almost side by side if he possibly can. Now, as a race driver, can he get that done?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. He's got to get down. He's got to beat Brody to that bottom line, because if Brody can get down to that apron and he can lock that down, he has shown how strong his car is down there. I don't think anybody can pass him if Brody is down on that bottom line. You know, Fody tried to do it on the high side, just didn't quite have enough horses to do so. So if Brody can secure that bottom apron there with maybe 2 laps to go, I don't think the cars have enough time.
Craig's got to send it for the. He got to get this point. He want a race win. He want a P2. And if you do make a mistake, Tyler's not eager at the moment. Tyler's gonna push him there. There he goes. Jason, full speed ahead here. Green flag, 2 to go.
What a launch by Jason Brody. That is something that we have not seen all day. What a launch that he got on that restart, and that may just be enough for him to pull this off. But you know what? Forsythe and Brody, as they touch, may have something to say about it, and Sudik is right there just waiting to pounce as well.
Here we go, last lap.
And here we go as Fody on the outside has the lead. And what a run by Stanley as he just weaves his way to the front, down to that bottom line, just like we talked about. Is he going to be too strong? He just weaved in there like evening traffic.
Jason wants it back. He has to go on the outside right now there. On the inside is Ethan. Dying stage of this race at the moment. A few more in the backpack. And there is the green machine at the moment that Jason says, I want to take the inside line at the moment. Look at Tyler on the outside. There's Craig. There's big work.
And I think Brody got it. I think he got it by tenths of a second.
He sure did. But for a second, I thought Ethan Stanley just... I know push to passes are not allowed in the ovals, but it just certainly looked like he had snuck in a push to pass there to take that lead, entering turns 1 and 2. But Jason Brophy... ice in his veins, all calm, no pressure, going in there, taking it on the outside line, and is able to hold off that victory 3 wide across the line as they started wrecking after they crossed our finish line. Congratulations to Jason Brophy on winning this race.
He was not going to give that up. Go ahead, my friend.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. What a race. He had the jump he had on the restart, and then Ethan Stanley, what a run that he had, zigzagging his way through like 5 p.m. traffic. He got to the lead, but Brody just too strong coming out of the turns, and congratulations to him.
That was amazing. He got it done. I couldn't believe that one between their drives. You got to give it to Ethan Stanley, of course. 21 positions gained. I'll take that one any day of the week to bring it to the 88 machine. At the dying stages, this one, Jason held it in there. He knows exactly what he had to, many restarts he had to do under cautions. And the green machine, well, has delivered and done. Lick the stamp and send it, as Daniel Ricciardo would say.
We're going to go ahead and
the wrong way.
Yeah, he's doing the Polish victory lap here. Jason Brophy, he is ecstatic right now with this victory. But we're going to go ahead and let these top 3 drivers get out of the car, unwind, and get ready for interviews, as we'll take another quick commercial break or two, and we'll be back with some post-race interviews.
Racing isn't easy. Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Back.
Welcome back to the first race of the 2024 iRacing IndyCar Series. What a way to kick the season off here at on the Impex podcast 500 onto the Apex, rather. Let's try that. Podcast 500 with Jason Brody winning by such a slim margin over a hard-charging Ethan Stanley. Tyler Fode finishes second. Craig Forsyth finishes third. Victor Del Porto, somebody that we didn't have our eye on throughout the day, finishes fifth. Paisley Soran finishes sixth. Nicholas Sudak finishes seventh. Nick DeGroot, name around here, finishes eighth. Justin Mello finishes ninth. Jordan Owens finishes in the top 10. 11th was Michael Hosick. 12th, Jesse Story. 13th, Eric Maisto. 14th, Patrick Stein. 15th, Drake Berry. 16th, Mark Rebelis. 17th, Bill Colley II. And 18th, Julian Altena. That was our race results.
We got more.
There, as you can see,
giving me issues there.
As you can see, we only had. Okay, we had 10 drivers finishing on the lead lap. 19th was Corey Johnson. 20th, Alan Stover. 21st, Joseph Morales. 22nd, Butch Davis. 23rd, Ryan Schold. 24th, Tate Lytle. 25th, Chad Simpson. 26th, AJ Musselman. 27th, Brian Edwards. 28th, Hunter Smith. 29th, Rodrigo Frenzoni. 30th, Chad Frankenfield. 31st, Justin Fuller. 32nd, Adriano Pahino. 33rd, Kevin Hayes. 34th, Jared Ruxing. 35th, Tony Schoen. 36th, Eric Staropoli. 37th, Kevin DeBrown. 38th, Justin Fortner. 39th, AJ Hobson. 40th, Eric Troiano. 41st, Rob Gregory. 42nd, Brian Macklin. 43rd, Mark Murphy.
And that's going to be it of all the drivers that
And that is
qualified
it.
for this race. Yeah. So I believe you have caught up with your third place finisher for the race. One of the two Lake Norman Motorsport drivers in the podium, Tyler Fody. Actually, do you need me to bring him up? No, he's right here. There you go, man.
Tyler, I know we just talked with about a handful of laps left, and you told us what was going to happen here. Curious to get your thoughts. What a close race! I know you took the lead late, but Jason Brody, Ethan Stanley, just a little too much for you tonight.
Yeah, I was just talking back there in the waiting room with my teammate Ethan. We were hoping it was going to be a one-lap shootout with the pacing we were doing there, because I knew we would have a shot at it if it was just one lap before everyone kind of got settled in. And yeah, sure enough, we led that white flag lap coming to the white flag. But no, I needed one less lap. But even still, we tried to set up Ethan on that last lap going into turn one, got him a big run, and kind of got him in there, and he was able to clear down in front of everybody. And I thought we would have had it then, but Jason got another run back down the back straightaway there, got to his outside, kind of held him up. And even still, I thought I might have a shot coming off the top there in the third lane, and it was pretty close. But all in all, I'll take the third place. But man, it would have been a little better if we only had one lap to do there.
Yeah, you were obviously so close, and you talk about the run that Ethan Stanley got. From up here in the booth, it looked like Ethan Stanley was just weaving through traffic like it was 5 p.m. Rush hour as he shot his way to the front there with just one lap to go.
Yeah, we were talking about it while we were pacing that, because he was back in 6th or 7th, that he was going to try and get a big run, make something happen. And sure enough, down the front stretch there, I saw him coming, kind of moved over a little, gave him that hole to shoot through, and he got clear. But yeah, just too much time there to let the field come back around him.
Yeah, but like you said, you can't be down. Solid podium finish, third place finish. Nice way to start your 2024 season. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, well, obviously my teammate there, Ethan. Second and third is definitely pretty awesome to start the year off with. Looking forward to running the rest of the season here with them. Hopefully we can continue the form here that we've started off with. Also want to thank Jonathan Cutlip and JD Designs for painting both of our cars tonight. And also shout out to you guys for being up here in the booth.
Tyler, good stuff as always. Congratulations on your podium finish, and hopefully this is the momentum you need going into the 2024 season.
Yeah, appreciate it.
That was third place finisher Tyler Fody. Carlos, do we have anybody else lined up here?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we have a second place finisher Ethan Stanley as well. Here you
go. Biggles, do you want to take this one?
You gentlemen are all good to go there. I was invited as a guest there, so yeah, you call the shots here, my friend.
Yeah, you go for it.
All right, Ethan, congratulations, second place finish. I know you were sweating it out there towards the end. 1/10 of a second to the first place finisher. Talk about your race this evening.
Yeah, I mean, I was just keeping it clean, keeping it in the front pack for most of the race. Towards the end, fuel went out the window. It was basically just a showdown at the end there. Who can make the pass at the end? Got a good run off of Fody and got down the backstretch. I think I gave him too much draft getting to turn 3 and 4 and just barely lost it.
Yeah, Tyler was just on here. We were talking about the move that you made, and I mentioned it looked like you were driving in 5 o'clock rush hour traffic. The way you zigged and zagged out of there to get to the front, but unfortunately, Brody passed you late. Talk about that move.
Yeah, I saw him kind of sitting there middle of the road. I was gonna go outside, and then he gave me the hole, let me pass, and yeah, from there I was just hoping that staying on the bottom give me enough room where I could just barely hold on to it. But he got a nice draft, and congrats to Brophy.
Yeah, good second place finish tonight, Ethan. Gives you a lot of momentum going into this season from race one. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Oh yeah, big shout out to Blue Egg Marketing and Jonathan Cutlip, JD Designs, for making the car tonight. And just big shout out to the Lake Norman guys, and also shout out to Tate Lytle. He was hanging out with us tonight. Um, just big shout out to you guys for doing the broadcast and everybody that makes the league happen.
Ethan, good stuff as always. Congratulations on a solid second place finish. I know you wanted first, but can't complain coming home second, and keep up the momentum as we roll into this season.
Yeah, thank you.
That was your second place finisher this evening, Ethan Stanley. Oh, so close to being that top podium spot, but was outdone this evening by the podium finisher in the number 88 private label entry, Jason Brophy, here with us. Jason, first, congratulations on a solid run this evening. Talk about your race there. It looked like your car was strong, especially down on the bottom of the track where it seemed to hook up really well.
Yeah, I think really with 60 to go, we had that run. I think it was Sudik down on the bottom below me, and I noticed that he could really hold it well down there. And for the most part, I couldn't get enough of a run to beat him to the line, so I knew caution with 40 to go, I had to get out in front of him. And thankfully, I actually had a good pit stop, not something I'm known for. Hit the marks, got out of the pit box well, and got in front of him. And then obviously, there was a bit of a mess. You know, Mark Rebelus stayed out and kept a bunch of people a lap down, and we had to try and fight through them. And there was a big one, and all I know is that I got hit real hard. I haven't gotten out of the car to look at it yet, but car stayed together, no damage, and was able to kind of hold the bottom. It was a great move by Ethan Stanley there at the end. He got clear, but I was actually kind of okay with that because I felt like I might not win the run to the line, and the draft let me set up a move and hold the second lane and get there first. Really good racing. A little bit packy at the end. I really liked it at the start. It felt like, especially in the long run, we could string out a bit. Good Auto Club race, and that ended with what typically happens here. So a lot of fun.
Yeah, you talked about the run or the move that Ethan Stanley made with about 1 lap to go. I pointed out that it looked like he was driving through 5 p.m. Rush hour traffic. I know you got to look in your rearview mirror and seen that coming. What was your feeling at that point?
Oh, I didn't even see him coming in the rearview mirror. I saw him just show up in front of me, like coming around the outside. I'm like, oh, where did he come from? It just turns into, where am I going to, okay, where am I going to, you're off to, what was it, off to, I think, next for, I sit here and be in on, I got to figure out now how to beat him. He down enough that I could get a run, get clear drag, and then it was a matter of sure I could hold it tight and keep, and really well. I mean, it worked out, but glad. Really, at the end of the race, lucky, you kind of had to one of these long races, but felt like ran well. Stayed in. Came up, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely able to pedal your car to a 10-second exciting finish up here. For congrats. Anyone want to give a shout out?
Yeah, it's glad the indoors back on racing. It's been a pretty rough year and a half. I got the private label team hype for our oval specifically, and I was going to transition to a crew chief role. Now I get to drive it again. They've kept me around, and I really want to thank Ty and Tommy Milner, for keeping me around and letting me do this, and I really enjoy it. Ethica, guess the rest of our sponsors, and I want to thank Chad for putting on the race, Elite Racing Series. So glad to kind of debut here. I've seen it around a long time, and I like long races, so this will be perfect for me.
Jason, again, congratulations on picking up your first, hopefully of many wins this season, and you got a lot of momentum carrying into the next race.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was your race winner this evening, Jason Brophy, in the number 88 private label Team Hype Racing. So with that, Carlos, anything else you have to add here before we sign off?
Whoa, excuse me. I didn't know my microphone was muted there. I was, no, it's perfectly fine. No, it's just a fantastic race. Of course, 500-mile race is gonna take a lot out of everybody, not just the drivers, but the producers, commentators, and even the fans watching from the beginning. So this race went far better than I expected. We had a couple cautions in the beginning, and it kind of seemed like maybe it could have carried on, but the drivers did a phenomenal job of kind of easing back on the on the start of race jitters, and still put on a phenomenal show for everybody to tune in. So first race back with IndyCar on iRacing for Elite, and well, it was a special night, special event for sure. Of course, next race should be back to Robert being back in the production booth, so it should be more standard, in line with what you guys expect here with the Elite Racing Network. But hey, fantastic job tonight, Derek. Thank you so much, Dean, for hopping in. I'm not sure if you're still in here. I think you are. No, he is not, unfortunately. It looks like he stepped away, but yeah. Look forward to seeing what you guys can do here coming up every Thursday.
Yeah, huge thank you to Carlos on the production side, keeping us upright, and thank you to him. And we will talk to you 1 week from now as we move into race number 2 of this 2024 season. We'll be in Wisconsin. Road America, I believe, is where that is, unless I'm getting my states confused. I think Road America is up there. But we are headed to Road America next week, and that's where we will come with you 1 week from now.
All right, well said. Well, thank you so much, everybody.
Yep. So for myself and Carlos and everyone else here, have a great evening, and we will talk to you 1 week from tonight.